BlueWire.com talk and text line. 1-877-794-1973.
Wait a minute, these guys are cool, but not that cool.
No BS is presented by Screamin' Sicilian Premium Craft Frozen Pizza. Find it in your local grocer's freezer and taste what all the screaming is about. Now, Billy and Armin on the game.
All right, perfect attendance is demanded. Well, required and or accepted here on No BS statewide on the game. We're in perfect attendance. I'm Billy Schmidt. That's Armin Sari. And Dave Gasper is producing as always. You're on 877-794-1973. And that's where roll call will start. That's where perfect attendance is required because it is vacation season. It is time for folks to be just gallivanting across this beautiful state of Wisconsin that we have. Beautiful. And Armin Sari, and we are here to be your co-pilot. We are here to be your wingman. Hang out with folks for the next 3+ hours or so because there's a lot to be able to discuss. There's a lot of fun to be able to have. However, we're going to touch all the bases today. I think I've decided that we are going to task ourselves with not just locking ourselves into, because many people say, I heard Zabin Butch talking about it today, there's a little wiggle room, right? There's an opportunity to discuss. I mean, how do you grill corn? Could probably be 45 minutes in the middle of summer radio.
There's an open space here a little bit.
There's a lot of room to run.
Yeah,
however, I think it makes even more fun because we are able to touch all the bases here. Little did you know that we were going to get into a WNBA conversation here today.
Love that.
NBA, WNBA, MLB, NFL, maybe a little bit of college sports. Definitely some lifestyle because you know that's our style. That's how we like to roll. That's how we like to play here on No BS. But I like the fact that I think we're going to touch all the bases here today because it was a good sports weekend. Not a great one, but a pretty good one here in the state of Wisconsin. Could have been even better if the Brewers were able to not allow a 2-out home run to tie the ball game by Orlando Arcia really tough play between Joey Ortiz and Rhys Hoskins that allows the first of the 2 Rockies runs that force extra innings yesterday in a matinee finale where the Brewers were able to go for a sweep and have themselves a 5-1 homestand. Instead, 4-2, nothing to sneeze at. But when you drop one to the Rockies for their 19th win of the season just before the end of June, that one leaves just a little bit to be desired there yesterday.
It did. It made yesterday, unfortunately, a bummer. I mean, you're walking in there thinking you're going to pick up a sweep. One thing I never liked.
Another game on the Cubs because they were just stumbling down in Houston.
And the Cubs are starting to stumble a little bit, which we've been kind of waiting for, I think, a little bit here. And it's finally in the end of June. I got to say, what makes, as much as you get excited to play a bad team in terms of the prospect of winning, one thing that's always been makes me nervous about playing the Rockies or like the White Sox or one of these super bad teams. One of these ultra bad teams, not just teams that are in regular last place bad, but one of these historical bad teams is like, no matter what inside your head, even though it's so antithesis and counterintuitive to baseball thinking,
that word,
you say to yourself, we got to get a sweep. We just can't lose one game, even though you know that's not realistic in baseball. Even though you said only their 19th win of the year, that still means 19 separate days they've already won games. Like that's just what happens in baseball. The worst teams are going to still win some ball games. And, you know, sitting there saying, oh, come on, getting a sweep and is like unrealistic to expect a sweep. When you win the first 2, when you're up 2-0 heading into the 8th, you unfortunately expect to get that win, get the sweep. And it feels like, even though you won the series, gives you a bad taste in your mouth. It feels like a loss. Of course, it had to be Arcia. That hurt.
No kidding.
That really hurt. Just like I remember Lewis Brinson having his one good game against us when he was with the Marlins, right? I remember him having like 2 homers or whatever it was. Of course, it's going to be against us. Just that made it stink. Although it's still a successful weekend. You won 2 out of 3. You were right there with a couple outs in the 9th. You also were tied in the 10th with the, no outs, first and second. Well, you'd hope to be able to get
opportunities to win the ball game.
Take the opportunities there and get it done. Overall, I'd still say a good weekend. Anytime you win a baseball series, it's good. But when you have a team this bad, there's this extra pressure to win every game, which is kind of like, I don't want to say it's a joyless series, but it's like it's almost.
Oh, I don't like that word.
It's not right.
I don't like that phrasing.
You put so much pressure on, like you were supposed to beat the Rockies. Like you're happy to win the game, of course. So we were happy to win Friday and Saturday. Those are good feelings. But it was like, well, we were supposed to beat the Rockies. This is just like you gotta punch the clock on these guys and get out of there, right? It's a terrible way to look at it. But unfortunately, when you're playing somebody so bad, it feels that way, and that's what leaves the bad taste in yesterday's mouth.
Well, and it also would have been another stamp on what has been and will most likely go down. Now, I hope that they have another month that is as successful as the month of June has been, but it would have finished the month 17-8. Instead, it goes 16-9 as an off day. We'll take them to New York to face off against the Mets to start up July yesterday. But where after, again, a middling month of May, like you got a little bit hot towards the end of it. I think May 25th was the line of demarcation that Bob Nightingale put in his piece at USA Today earlier on yesterday. And he's going to join the radio show during the third hour of the program. He's going to be on at 11:20 to discuss that piece. But that was when they started going into yesterday, winning 22 of 30 games. And they were 3 games under 500. Yesterday with a win, I mean, again, you just look at the easy counting numbers. You're sitting there at 12 games over 500, where you were 21-25 at one point, 25-28, and quickly, as the second half is now already underway, you've put yourself firmly in the race. At that point, people were laughing at us mentioning the wild card, saying there's no way you're going to win that many games. There's no way you're going to catch the Giants. Coughed one up against the White Sox yesterday. There's no way you're going to catch the Padres sitting there in the middle of the wild card race. And instead, as we'll flip to July, and as Nightingale put in his piece once again, like, look up and find the Brewers right in contention.
Right in contention.
Continuing to really just spit in the face of a lot of prognostications, a lot of continual models that will bank on the Brewers having some regression towards the mean at some particular point. But I mean, like, I thought a couple of the takes, and Bob Nightingale was in the center of a lot of Brewers fans either praise for shouting out what Mark Attanasio said earlier this year.
Right.
There was half the fan base that was like, finally somebody talking and laying out what this dude is saying, that he doesn't care about winning. He don't want to win. All he wants to do is provide a summer of entertainment and memories, where that post from Nightingale in the beginning of spring caused a lot of consternation. This one right here had a couple of Brewers fans, I think, pumping their chests yesterday saying, what did you expect? What did you expect after a run where you lose 4/5 of your starting rotation, if not more? You're counting on a Logan Henderson, a Chad Patrick, all to be able to piecemeal bringing this guy Quinn Priester. They overpaid like no other for this Quinn Priester guy. Who is this Quinn Priester guy? 7 shutout innings the other night. The midst of it, there was a lot of reason to think in the beginning of the year, and myself included, Chicken Little Radio was fun to talk about with this ball club. But I think the process has not been the way they would have planned it to go. But I think where you're sitting right now is exactly where the Brewers thought they would be. In the mix, maybe they didn't realize the Cubs would be that good. Maybe they thought the Cubs would be even better than they have been so far. But right there in the mix with a definite opportunity and within striking distance for anything to happen over the next 3 months.
Totally, Billy. And it's one of those things that it's amazing and remarkable in its expectation, because it always happens. It seems like it always happens with this Brewer team, and Nightingale, and we'll talk to him, hit it right at the head in that story, is you've become used to them doing this. And it's amazing to feel like your team, the Brewers, who went through years in the wilderness of not being able to win at all of a sudden have become this team, like we used to look at the Cardinals or the Braves like this, that no matter what, we're always contending, that we're always a solid organization that's getting it done. And it is interesting because in May, when things look bleak and there was a hope, like, well, there's a lot of season left. Let's see what happens. The Brewers have a good track record of turning things around. It was like, you were getting laughed at. Like, people were like, Armin, stop being naive again. Stop with this positive nonsense, Armin. Say it like it is. I'm like, well, wait, let's see now. It's early on still. And it did look bleak. There's no doubt about it. I mean, there are points of the season when it looked bleak. It looked like, look, this Brewers team is the one that's going to come back to earth, and there's really no way they're going to turn it around. And like clockwork, they have. And you hit it right in the head, Billy. It's interesting because there's a duality in this fan base. There's no doubt about it. The Milwaukee Brewers fan base is excited. It's loyal. It loves baseball. It loves their teams. And it's proven year after year by really good attendance numbers, excitement when our guys are doing well. But there's the side of the Brewers fan base that said, wow, our voice has finally been heard about Attanasio.
Yeah.
This is a problem. We're not serious. We don't have a serious owner. The classic stuff you hear about that. And that's a vocal part of the fan base that really feels that way. That I want to say tends to complain more. But the reality is maybe they're a little jaded, a little used to the success that the level of the Brewers have had. Obviously thirsty for more success and get frustrated when that doesn't happen. And of course, Seitzer said, and the owner in that situation. So there's that voice, that group of fans, and there's that duality in this fan base. And it's pretty interesting this season to see it all play out how it has.
No doubt about it, because what you mentioned is, I think, very true. There is a fierce loyalty of the fan base. However, and I don't think it's wrong, that expectations change because of how prominent and positive the Brewers have been over the last number of years, right? How successful they've been, and the fact that, like, in the Nightingale piece, he just put some hard numbers in, that this team means a lot to the city, and the city means a lot to the team. Because if it wasn't for the fan base being as fiercely loyal as they've been, continuing to show up to games, continuing to be able to, like Eric Thames said, it's not like Philly or New York where you're going to get death threats. It's just a positive atmosphere. I mean, even when we're not doing well, the crowds still show up. That place, the vibe in there is second to none, because they have the 10th largest attendance in baseball since 2005. Unequivocally so, the smallest market in the sport. However, fans only are going to continue to put their money where their mouth is to a certain point. And I think the lack of continued postseason success, now postseason appearances, are what a lot of us look at and say, you're right on the doorstep.
Great job. You've won to a certain extent. You put yourself in position. 90
I
wins.
definitely understand the frustration of saying, now we've won 2 playoff games. Correct me if I'm wrong there. 2 playoff games.
Yep.
Since 2018.
Yeah, that's right.
2 playoff games, not series, 2 playoff games. So, like, wanting more is very fair in that sense. But I think realizing that, we always say the grass isn't always greener, especially for this organization, the way that they have been able to continually contend while cycling their entire roster over. It's just something you don't see in the sport for even big market teams, let alone the smallest market team that consistently year in and year out is cutting their payroll to the point where the manager is mentioning it a bunch of different times.
And one thing I'd add too, I mean, we talk about, is this a serious franchise? Is the ownership serious?
Sure.
Look at the teams that just came to town on this homestand.
Great
Look
point.
at the Colorado Rockies. The 2018, who was the first team that the Brewers played in the playoffs that year?
Yeah.
It was the Colorado Rockies. What have the Rockies done since then? They've gone into a complete tailspin because they have an unserious owner. They're an unserious franchise, and they continue to be one of the worst teams in the league. I mean, they had a good team.
Yeah, they did have a really good team, and then they tore it all down.
They were in the playoffs, and they still have some of those guys. Kyle Freeland is still there. Germán Marquez is still there. It's like they're still around, but everything else has just gone terribly.
But Dave, I mean, to that point, like, they paid $50 million for the Cardinals to take Nolan Arenado.
Oh, absolutely.
Right. Like, I mean, so like
they're an unserious franchise.
So they have done things to push money outward to say, hey man, we don't necessarily need that guy.
Sure.
He's not going to help us at this point. You know who is going to help us? $180 million worth of Chris Bryant.
Yeah, see, that's the thing.
There's misses that you have in there. And then Dave also mentions it with the Pittsburgh Pirates. I mean, that's a team that you would think, just now the numbers actually by the census numbers would put them a little bit different and a little bit further apart. Between Pittsburgh and Milwaukee, that's a comparable situation, right? You would think that would be a comparable situation. Although there's one individual over there that, I mean, he is allergic to spending money in Bob Nutting.
Yeah,
and this one, while they don't necessarily spend it on a high price player, yes, they allow players to walk away in their prime. Yes, they're going to have to make frugal business decisions that generally are going to be frustrating in terms of competing because you're going to lose good players. I think they've allocated a lot of those resources into unique ways to team build.
Totally.
We talk about the pitching lab so many times. We've talked about Chris Hook ad nauseum since he's been here as a Milwaukee Brewers player or a coach. Well, he might be more important than any player that they signed last year, because when they lock him up to a 3-year contract extension, my man Mark Belling, who has been a fixture in the radio industry, doesn't care about sports, walks in to say, hey, they got to keep Chris Hook. I'm glad they kept Chris Hook.
Yeah, he was fired up.
Oh, first time we've ever had a conversation about sports with Mark Belling.
It was great.
So, like, that's the intensity and the actual success rate that he has provided for the team. I just think I'm excited to be able to talk about it with Bob in the third hour, because he's got quotes in here from all the guys that are going to come back as the Brewers are celebrating 25 years in American Family Field this year. And July 25th is going to be a pretty sweet day.
It's going to be awesome
When all of these guys are going at it in the home run derby.
They all seem like they
according to Bob's piece, everybody is coming for blood in that home run derby that starts after that 3-10 first pitch against the Marlins.
All it takes a little trash talking for those guys to really get after it again. Thames is getting blisters again.
A little bit of ego.
Yeah, exactly.
A little good ego going in there is always going to help.
Appealing to the ego, the hubris, the pride. That's what it's all about.
And Nigel Morgan said, I'm in the best shape out of any of these guys, so sorry.
Someone's going to sign me when I'm done. Yeah.
They're going to need me in center field at that point.
I love it.
There's a reason why the connection, I think, to the fan base and the city has always been unique. But the way that they continue that, the way that they elevate it, I know it's very, very simple to say. You keep winning. You keep being able to put yourself in contention. And at one of these years, a Pete Alonso slider is going to fall out of the zone. One of these years, that changeup that Devin Williams threw last year is going to miss the bat.
Yeah.
You're going to advance, and then you don't know what can happen. But that is the piece that's the tough part of where the reality for the Crew is always going to be. You're going to have to get yourself into the room. And then at some point, hope that girl asks you to date.
That's what it is. And I think there's an easy to go to the frustration that some fans have. Well, you talk about wanting more. The reality is I think we all want more. Everybody always wants more. It's our nature, and we haven't been able to reach the ultimate prize yet. I think it just manifests itself in different ways. I think when you get upset, you get frustrated. The tendency for some is to go at it harder, got to work harder, got to spend more money, got to make more of a commitment, got to make a more reckless move, right? And that's not always the best way to do it. And some people are more comfortable understanding that. No, stick with the process is the right thing. And some people aren't. And I think deep down, a lot of people know the Brewers are doing a lot of things really well. Even the ones that want to stay frustrated about it. No, listen, it's good to eat your vegetables. It's good to save a little bit over time and not make big splashes in life right now. You know, you're saving for retirement. It's like those responsible moves that you know in the long run are good, but they're not fun. They're not going to satisfy you in the short term, and they don't feel right because they're not getting any immediate return. But that's what the Brewers do. That's the type of moves the Brewers do. That's the type of process the Brewers execute. And the reality is in baseball, it's, you know, you can talk about this and have this debate until you're blue in the face. And I'm sure we've all done it many times. And we've done it on Twitter. We've done it in person. When people say, why don't they go and get another guy? Like, very often.
Right away, Kavika, let's see if Atanasio goes out and gets another bat. Well, when Yelich and Churio get cold, it'll be crucial to have another good hitter to count on. From past experience, I don't think so.
But that's just not the way. World Series are usually not won that way. Teams make it to the playoffs based on the strength and the power of their team, winning enough games. They get into this tournament, and things kind of go. I don't want to say it's luck, but things go your way for that 2 weeks.
A lot of times you need things to break your way.
You need things to break your way. You need moments to go your way down. We've talked about this in the past, Billy and Dave. We've talked about this. Different ways the Brewers can try and set themselves up for a better position once they get into those those playoff games, those short-term series, those small sample sizes. Billy, we talked about the slugging thing, a couple of years ago. Mm-hmm. Slugging is what wins in the playoffs. You need home runs. You need guys that have the potential to do it in those moments. But even if you have the best home run hitters in baseball, 2 years ago, the Dodgers won last year. 2 years ago, they had the top three hitters, I'd say. It was like Freeman, Betts. They go 1 for 12 combined in 3 games. It's over.
And they get swept out in that 5-game series. Yeah, you're right. Yep.
Those things happen, right? It doesn't mean they weren't good. Building great teams, building 100-win teams is not necessarily the recipe to winning World Series. So
it helps, but I get it. It doesn't guarantee you anything.
A lot of teams have made the World Series based on, sub 90 wins, getting hot, getting through, right? Those things have happened. So as frustrating as it is, the process seems to work for the Brewers. And like you said, Billy, you just hope that one moment you can break through. The girl asks you to dance, the slider goes low. That those things go your way. But I think it's rarely a moment of, we won playoff game 3 because we got this specific bat in this moment, and it was a very clear and measured return on investment. That's just not the way it usually works. Having a group of guys that can potentially come through in those small sample sizes sometimes does work. Sometimes.
Now, I'm all for you go and grab Eugenio Suarez at the deadline, and my man hits a 2-run shot in the middle of the 8th inning. Of game 3, and that's how you win.
That would be great.
That would be great. That'd be awesome if that was as clear cut and as easy to identify as it would be. But like Dave, I mean, you're there every single day, and seeing I think the other part of it is the cats at the bottom of the order who I had quite a bit of time enjoying mocking and not putting into home run parlays. Apparently, you got to put Sal Frelick and Joey Ortiz into home run parlays right now. I have my man Michael send me one from. Not the Potawatomi Sportsbook. We aren't mad at you, okay? We aren't mad at you up in the Green Bay area because that's where you're going to go. Not nearly as good as the Potawatomi Sportsbook. We can all agree on that. But when you're dropping and winning with Christian Yelich, Sal Frelick home run parlays, that's going to work out. The part of the left side of the order or the left side of the infield, Dave, understandably so, name recognition you could improve there. Mm-hmm. But the last 30 days, one of the reasons why they've won 22 of 31 now after spitting one up yesterday is because of those guys over on the left side of the infield.
Yeah, it's been a great stretch from them, and they've really gone through it these first couple of months. And, Joey Ortiz has talked about it, how his teammates have helped get him through.
Got
and
a sweet new haircut from one of his teammates.
Fantastic new haircut. And
Armin, you want one of those? I can give you one.
I'll take it. Absolutely. If I could hit like that, you know what I'm saying?
And he's got a puppy. Brought him to family day the other day named Kylo. Great dog. But it's just really been fantastic to see those guys finally get it going, because they've been going through it for so long, and you just kind of see like the weight lifted off their shoulders almost.
And I don't think that it precludes them from going in and adding there, right? Like I think
no, it does not.
Just because Caleb Durbin has played very, very well over the last month, his numbers offensively are really impressive over that run. I don't think that's going to keep them out of a conversation for. I mean, I threw Ryan McMahon in there. My man struck out 100 plus times, maybe not exactly the right spot, but you look at a player that adds a little bit more pop from the left side, right? Like where there could be a little bit of a platoon situation over there. Now, they're going to bring up my man Anthony Siegler. Is that how we pronounce his name? That is the report from our Armin doppelganger, Francis Romero.
Let's go, Francis.
That
Anthony
Siegler. I know you're breaking news now, Armin.
Well, actually, have you ever seen me and Francis in the same room?
Never.
Never. Okay. So you guys don't even know about my alter. You know, I always talk about the alternative life.
Yes, your alternative life.
A different life. You know, you never know what could have happened. Maybe I'm a sports writer named Francis Romero.
Francis Romero,
getting the scoops on the Brewers.
Thank you, a BBWAA member.
I wish I would have a vote to gatekeep. Yeah. No, let's listen. I'm not Francis Romero. Let's give him the credit.
I really
He's
wish
doing
you were.
Great job.
Yeah.
Some people say I look like him. I'm not really sure. Maybe
if anybody has not seen Francis Romero, look him up and tell me he doesn't look like Armin Sari. Because you're going to get your eyes checked. Because it looks as spot on as possible.
Listen,
could be.
You mentioned it. He's getting the scoops these days, and there was that scoop about him coming up. Playing third. Like, who knows? Maybe that's the type of improvement the Brewers will get. Maybe it's internal. I'm sure they love that because they don't have to give away.
We don't want to give anything away. Don't want to lose anything in that spot. Dave, can you just, before we take a quick time out here, can you calm down my little bit of trepidation that could be, because Siegler plays third base. Mm-hmm. He can play second base. Also catches quite a bit.
Yeah.
Are we thinking there might be a little bit of timeout needed for one William Contreras with that finger, or is that just me being a little nervous?
Potentially. Okay. It could be the past couple of days for Nashville. He has been playing catcher, not third base. So that might be where I'm leaning. It could be because Contreras, came up in a big moment yesterday and popped out to second or shallow right and wasn't able to come through.
Tim Allen said he's like a third of his offensive production last week. And I think that's very fair, right? Yeah. Like it's right about a third as to what you expected to see from William Contreras. And if you can give him 2.5 weeks
to get that right, William Contreras right for the playoff stretch, right? Or for the run.
You and I were, maybe me more than you. I don't want to speak for you, but I was a little bit concerned when they would bring it up. Like, that doesn't feel like a 2 or 3 week timeout injury. Sure. That feels like a potentially go under the knife, get something, fix it. He's tried already, right? Tried something. We'll see.
He said rest is what it would take. Well, even this offseason, he's like, it wouldn't be surgery. It's like, just rest. Okay.
Well, let's give him 2.5 weeks of rest and figure out what we can do, because the All-Star break's 2 weeks away, and the Brewers will be back in Milwaukee coming up for July 7th. And that run into the All-Star break when the Dodgers come to town, the Nationals come to town. They go face off against the Mets this weekend. Might be the best time to face the Mets. They've lost 4 of their last 5 series.
Might be getting them at the right time. We talked about when you get teams and things like that.
The only non-loss was a 4-game split against the Braves. They just got swept by the aforementioned unserious franchise, the Pittsburgh Pirates.
They've been having a tough couple weeks.
They gave up 35 combined runs.
Crazy. They've been having a tough couple weeks, right? They were an exciting start for the Mets. We know all the Mets
teams are completely defeated.
Yeah,
when giving up a combined 40 runs and scoring a combined 5.
It's not good, Billy. It's not at all.
Good time to be able to catch them. Good time to be able to take a quick time out, come back, talk some football on the other side. There's a trade in the NFL.
All right,
involving somebody that's kind of been on Armin Sarian's watch list. I wouldn't say wish list, because he thinks this cat might be a little bit overrated. Now he's going to a team that this fan base might be very interested in the AFC. We'll discuss that, as well as one former NFL scout turned broadcaster super high on the Green Bay Packers. Now, I like confirmation bias. I'm in this camp. I want to know if anybody else is this high on the green and gold 1 month, less than 4 weeks from training camp. 4 weeks from today, this radio show will be live and in living color from Ray Nitschke Field as the game kicks off our full week-long live coverage, extended boots on the ground coverage of Packers training camp. When the game moves in 4 weeks from today, will we be talking about the Green Bay Packers as not only kings of the North again, but number 1 overall seed in the NFC? We'll discuss that as well. Jimbo Sarski's going to talk some Bucks with us in a little under an hour from right now. They re-signed Bobby Portis yesterday. NBA free agency going to start up at midnight tonight. What can the Bucks do? We've been told very little. Jimmy's going to give us a little bit more information on that coming up in the second hour. And as we mentioned, Bob Nightingale, USA Today, one of the best baseball writers in the world, going to join us at 11:20, talk about his latest piece about the Milwaukee Brewers, how they keep doing it. Why would you go anywhere else? It's 877-794-1973. It's Billy and Sari, and stay wide on the game.
Can't you see what you're doing, girl? You know damn near everything I love.
Now, it's your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website. Check. That's check. Enter it now. TheGameandStuff.com. TheGameandStuff.com.
Are you looking for a new pool or maybe want to update your current pool? John Kuhn here for Splash Pools and Spas. For 16 years, customers have trusted Splash Custom Pools and Spas for high quality, great value, and reliability to have their pool services done right. Splash's team of trained professionals specialized in pool and spa customization and regularly scheduled servicing throughout Northeast Wisconsin and the surrounding areas. They even offer on-site pool chemical supplies. Owning a swimming pool is a great way to enjoy time with the family and friends, and Splash ensures that your pool is always safe and clean with water that is properly balanced, sparkling, and ready for swimming at all times. Check out their Facebook page to see some of their recent projects and find them online at splashcustompools.com. Or you can call them at 920-465-8100. That's 920-465-8100 and make a splash this summer.
Is that knee, hip, or shoulder pain not getting any better? Are you stuck in an endless cycle of steroid shots and now they're even talking about surgery? Before you go down that road, hit the pause button. Hey, it's Billy Schmidt. I want to tell you about something that helped a lot of people get their lives back without more medications or without going under the knife. It's QC Kinetics. The leaders in regenerative medicine using treatments like advanced cellular therapy are here to help your body heal itself. No more masking the pain. This goes right to the root of the problem. Their cellular treatments contain growth factors and healing properties to maximize your own body's ability to heal itself. 92% of patients report satisfaction with their results. That's not just a number. It's peace of mind that you're exploring something that's truly working for people just like you. Real results that let you move easier and live better. Listen, it doesn't cost anything to get a second opinion. Learn more about something that could give you life-changing results. Call QC Kinetics today at 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. QC Kinetics, 414-285-3474.
Summer is finally here, but you can't enjoy it. Between the endless stream of unqualified resumes, tedious paperwork, and employee complaints, there's no time left for the family. Fortunately, HR Value Partners can help. They'll save you time and money with fractional HR services for less than the cost of an admin. Schedule your free consultation today, and if you sign up before the end of July, your first month is free. Check us out at hrvaluepartners.com/summer. That's hrvaluepartners.com/summer.
Save big money now on siding at Menards. Update and beautify your home with your choice of 13 timeless colors of pre-finished LP SmartSide engineered siding. It's durable and includes a Sherwin-Williams machine-applied paint warranty that means no painting for years to come. Save big money today on all LP SmartSide products. Plus, check out our weekly flyer on Menards.com for all the great deals happening now.
Save big money at Menards.
From playing catch with the kids to carrying your groceries, your shoulders, elbows, wrists, and hands do it all. But when pain limits your motion, it's time to see Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. Receive personalized treatment plans to restore your strength and movement. Schedule today at orthowisconsin.com.
Hi, Zoe Saldana. Welcome to T-Mobile. Here's your new iPhone 16 Pro on us.
Thanks. And here's my old phone to trade in.
You don't need a trade-in. When you switch to T-Mobile, we'll give you a new iPhone 16 Pro. Plus, we'll help you pay off your old phone up to $800, and you still get to keep it.
There's always a trade-in.
Not right now at T-Mobile.
I feel like I have to give you something in return for karma.
That's okay.
I don't really have much in my purse. Oh, let's see. Hand sanitizer. It's lavender.
I'm good. Seriously.
Let me check this pocket. Oh, mints?
Really, I'm fine.
Oh, I have raisins. I'm a mom. Wait, one sec. I've got cupcakes in the car.
It's our best iPhone offer ever. Switch to T-Mobile. Get a new iPhone 16 Pro with Apple Intelligence on us. No trade-in needed. We'll even pay off your phone up to $800.
With 24 monthly bill credits, new line $100 plus a month on experience beyond finance agreement $999.99 and qualifying for it. For well qualified plus tax and $10 connection charge. Pay off via virtual prepaid card without 15 days. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. See T-Mobile.com.
B&B Motorsports, located in East Troy, has all your summer needs covered. B&B offers youth and adult ATVs, dirt bikes, mopeds, electric scooters, and e-bikes, all at the best prices around. Call today, 262-749-4267. Open by appointment only.
Bikers need protection, not just from other drivers, but unfortunately from insurance companies too. We've been fighting for injured bikers and their families for more than 30 years. Call Gruber Law Offices today. One call, that's all.
Do your summer plans include travel? Make sure your prep includes more than just flights and hotels. Stay up to date with COVID-19 vaccination, especially if you're 65 or older or have certain health conditions. There have been surges in COVID-19 in the summer, too. It's important to help protect yourself no matter your destination. So check eligibility and schedule in minutes at VaxAssist.com. That's VAXAssist.com. Brought to you by Pfizer.
Okay, raise your hand if you want to make your life a little bit easier. Great. Now raise your other hand if you like to be comfortable. Perfect. Now that you have both hands raised, imagine putting on your shoes. And that, folks, right there is your answer to an easier, more comfortable life. Go hands-free with Skechers Slip-ins. This is footwear you don't need your hands to put on. They can be raised in the air, and you can just step it and go. Why don't you experience what people can't stop talking about? Life-changing Skechers Slip-ins. Get your Slip-ins at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever stylish footwear is sold.
When you order industrial supplies from Packer Fastener, you get real customer service, blazing fast speed, and the kind of accuracy that would make your high school shop teacher proud. Anything you want, anytime you want it, from the Midwest's largest inventory of threaded fasteners and industrial supplies. I'm talking accurate order delivery where the only surprise is a box of Junior Mints. And get advice on the right parts from the people who have been there, done that. That's right, an industrial supply partner who's always in. No ghosting, no back orders, no BS. Order today at PackerFastener.com.
No BS on the game. Billy and Sarian with you, boogieing on down on a beautiful Monday in the good land. 877-794-1973. Hey, Kavika and Maui likes the Eugenio Suarez deal. I think a lot of people would be interested in Suarez. Dave Gasper produces the program as always. Dave, now, I will say I had a couple of tweets typed out to you while you were sitting at the ballpark on Saturday.
Yeah.
That's got to be... It's got to be an interesting viewing experience. That's got to be an interesting viewing experience for our friend Dave Gasper here, who Armin on the radio show.
Yes.
When Rodriguez, I pronounce his name correctly?
Yeah, wasn't happy.
Combined with another individual and a first-round pick for the Milwaukee Brewers, was sent to the Boston Red Sox in return for Father Quinn Priester. Now, Quinn Priester, all he has done in the last number of starts is continue. Yes, answer our prayers and potentially shove it right back into Dave Gasper's face. 7 innings of one-hit ball on Saturday.
Yeah.
That's remarkable from number 46, who Pat Murphy had mentioned after the game. He's like, yeah, I thought we were going to have to send him down. Instead, he's doing all of this adjusting on the fly at the big league level and making Matt Arnold look kind of like the executive of the year from a year ago.
Yeah, making him look very smart. And yeah, the first time he saw him, he was like, oh, this is a project. And Pat Murphy and I had the same opinion pretty much right out of the gate.
Right.
But sorry, not to step on you there, but I like it too from like a full circle deal. Wasn't Priester's first start against the Rockies in Colorado?
It was, yeah.
And Brenton Doyle took the first pitch off the either scoreboard or foul pole. I mean, he yanked a home run, and I look over at Dave and if you could hear him behind that thick paneled glass here in the studio,
not happy about it.
No words that could have been repeated onto this microphone. However, he then settled down a little bit, competed there, but there was a lot of competing factor. Now it looks like his stuff is getting the outs at the big league level.
Yeah, his stuff has definitely improved. He's made the adjustments, and this is where, as we were kind of talking about last segment, Chris Hook and Jim Henderson and the pitching coaches they really came into play. I mean, being able to do this development at the big league level, it's very rare. Like, you don't often see guys make these kinds of adjustments, make this kind of development at the big league level on the fly like this, changing an organization in mid-season. It was early in the season, but still mid-season, and being able to make those adjustments and have that kind of success without really too much of a blow up. I mean, his Cubs start on May 2nd or whenever it was in early May, that was really kind of the last true blow up one for Priester, and he's been remarkable ever since. And a lot of credit to Priester for putting in that work, but also, as Murphy pointed out, Chris Hook and Jim Henderson and the pitching coaches being able to make those tweaks and helping him adjust to it.
Yeah, and that's why I wasn't upset at you, Dave, for having the reaction you did, because what you were thinking made logical sense at the time, right?
And Pat Murphy was thinking the same thing too at the time.
But you know what? Faith is the substance of things hoped for, and sometimes you don't know why.
And I'll put my faith in Quinn Priester.
Quinn Priester,
come on,
and the Brewers organization for knowing and identifying the type of guys they want. They've been having success doing this. And that's where a lot of the excitement came from. For those that had some excitement, I understood. We had excitement about Yoferi as well. And I understand why there was a little frustration there, because on its face, it didn't make sense in some ways logically. But I was like, oh, let's wait and see. They must see something in this kid. And yeah, you have to have faith in the team, the front office, in those personnel guys. And it's been able to come through for the Brewers at the right time and maybe set themselves up for a future starter here. That's the best part.
Well, definitely has set themselves up for a future starter as a former first-round pick right there. He looks like he's locked in.
Yeah.
Would appear Jacob Mizorowski is going to be a force to be reckoned with, barring any setback or injury. And don't look now, potentially starting against Clayton Kershaw, first game of that Dodgers series.
How about that? Not only does he get this
Paul Skeens, Clayton Kershaw, nice little pitching matchups for the young 23-year-old rookie to be able to go up and potentially slay in his Rookie of the Year candidacy. But there's a lot to the window that has seemingly opened up for the Brewers. Their future looks a lot brighter, right? I mean, year ago,
absolutely, Billy,
in the middle of the season, I'm not saying that you were doubting a lot of Bryce Terang and Sal Frelick in a couple of Gold Glove candidate years, but you were definitely wanting more. Now, Summer of Sal's got him hitting over 300, almost 300, hitting home runs yesterday where Armin Sarian's turning away from the television. Bryce Terang in the midst of another Gold Glove season, you would assume, and potentially all-star season for it to slide down into the fifth hole. Like, they have pieces that you couldn't forecast over the next 3 to 4 years that they get better.
Yeah,
this might be a real I don't want to say a stolen year of contention because they won 93 games a year ago. But when you were in the middle of May feeling like, all right, potential gap year, maybe this was last year just in a reverse order, right back into the thick of things. And yes, 1 to 2 more additions, we'd feel very, very interested in. We would definitely welcome it. I know Pat Murphy would, Armin. I don't necessarily know that they're happening. I think they might need it. But I do believe they'll be more aggressive than people would maybe tend to believe.
Yeah, maybe if they have a chance to make some moves here, and in a year that Garrett Mitchell's giving you nothing, nobody would have expected that.
Tough beat again.
But nobody would have expected that. You would have thought he was going to be a big part of what you did going forward this year. So
yeah, and Blake Perkins now going out on a rehab assignment. That's a tough one. And yes, surgery tomorrow for one Garrett Mitchell. We're going to be back on the other side. Doug Russell's got an update. We're going to talk Jim Owczarski in the second hour of the program. A lot ahead. Stay with us. It's No BS on the Game.
97.3 The Game, your number one preset on our free iHeartRadio app, powered by Gruber Law.
One call, that's all.
Injured?
Remember, one call, that's all.
KB here. If you've got nagging aches and pains, you got to try Happy Place Hemp CBD and Delta 8 gummies. Just go to happyplacehemp.com, use the promo code DrewKB at checkout, get 25% off your order. Start feeling better right away. That's happyplacehemp.com.
This June, it's your chance to name your price on any furnace or air conditioner at Thielman Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. That's right. Name your price and no reasonable offer will be rejected. Must be installed in June. Get exceptional equipment and expert installation from Thielman Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Don't wait. Name your price and call Thielman Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing today. Call 262-240-4085. That's 262-240-4085.
ZipRecruiter is the place. ZipRecruiter is the place for talented teachers, savvy software developers, and master mixologists. ZipRecruiter is the place where you meet all these people and more. That's because ZipRecruiter is the place for job seekers who are looking for new opportunities. In fact, ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day, so you can find the right candidates right away. It's no wonder that ZipRecruiter is the place for skilled skydiving instructors, accomplished airbrush artists, and proficient pediatricians. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter to hire, you're missing out. ZipRecruiter is the place that's so confident it can make your hiring easier that it lets you try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. So if you want the right candidates for all your roles, ZipRecruiter is the place to go. Try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
Hey, listen to this. All I needed was a new starter. Got a great deal on eBay. Did it myself.
Yeah, that's cool. But how about the soft purr of an upgraded exhaust when it fits just right?
For me, it's the little things, like these new windshield wipers from eBay I installed. From small fixes to big upgrades, eBay has all the parts you need at prices you'll love, guaranteed to fit every time. eBay, things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/radio to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments including pills, chews, and more. 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/radio. That's hims.com/radio. HIMS.com/RADIO.
If you need to hire, it seems like the whole process can be exhausting. You search resumes, wait for the right candidates to apply, set up initial interviews. It's a lot of time and work. Well, what if you could meet with qualified candidates for your job the very next day? Now you can with Zip Intro from ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. Zip Intro is super easy to use. You simply pick a time, and it does all the work of finding and scheduling qualified candidates for you. Then you can choose who you want to talk to and meet with great people on back-to-back video calls as soon as the next day. Best of all, you save time and energy.
Try Zip Intro for free right now at this exclusive web address, ZipRecruiter.com/free. Zip Intro. Post jobs today. Talk to qualified candidates tomorrow. Once again, go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try it for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Find what you love, love what you find. A Total Wine and More. There's so much waiting for you. Spirits and beer, thousands of wines. Guides in the know and prices so low. It just might blow your mind. You're gonna find what you love and love what you find.
With curbside pickup available, you'll always find what you love only at Total Wine and More.
Drink responsibly, B21.
Now there's a new way to take charge of your blood sugar. Introducing New Garlic Healthy Blood Sugar Formula from the makers of the nation's best-selling garlic supplement. New Garlic helps maintain healthy blood sugar levels with clinically supported levels of garlic, plus a custom blend of vitamins and minerals, and it's odor-free. Take charge of your blood sugar with New Garlic Healthy Blood Sugar Formula. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Use as directed.
Number 1 on your car radio preset and the new and improved iHeartRadio app. This is WRNW-FM Milwaukee, 97.3 The Game. This hour of No BS is brought to you by Screamin' Sicilian Premium Craft Frozen Pizza. Find it in your local grocer's freezer and taste what all the screamin' is about.
Drop it. Woo!
He's very knowledgeable, very intelligent guy, very personable guy.
Here's Doug Russell.
All right, let's start at American Family Field where the Brooms were out. About that.
Whoops.
This is year one. And this ball is well hit to left field. It is gone. How about that? Orlando Arcia has tied it up. 2 outs in the 9th inning against his former club.
On to extras, where the Rockies completed the rally.
Up the middle, base hit. Doyle around third. He'll score easily. Kyle Farmer coming through. 4-3 Colorado.
For such a long time at the ballpark yesterday, things are going okay.
Easy dub, yeah.
Yeah. Rockies TV with the call, final score. Colorado 4, Milwaukee 3.
We had this coming to us, and what I mean by that is like things have been going our way a bunch. We haven't had to have games like this in a while, so it's a good reminder that you can lose these games. You got to play every pitch. You know, a 1-run lead's not enough. You got to get 2 runs sometimes not enough.
Listen, the Rockies have won 19 games.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean,
they had done it 18 times before yesterday.
They're not going to lose 65.
Correct.
They're not going to lose every game. I mean, it's a reality when you play these teams. Unfortunately, you feel like you should win every game. And it's like, oh, man, if we don't sweep them, well, we should. Well, it doesn't work like that.
Well, they didn't sweep them in April either.
Yeah, but when my man on Rockies TV sounds as surprised when that Orlando Arcia ball goes over the wall.
I was too,
as
though.
Anybody is like, holy cow. Whoa, we could win this game.
But to be honest,
win one.
To be fair, when he took the Rockies job, he thought that he would be calling Major League games.
It's fair. He didn't realize he was calling AA ball.
And let's be fair. Anytime Orlando Arcia comes through offensively, it's a shocker. It is a shocker.
Yeah. Unless it's the playoffs.
That's fair. It was like 4 for 4 in that Cubs game, that 163.
Yes.
He had a bunch of hits.
And a huge NLCS.
Yeah.
Better NLCS than Christian Yelich did. If you're
Isn't he still like second or third most like
postseason home runs?
Postseason home runs, yeah.
Funny thing is, my wife and her mom, huge Orlando Arcia fans. They almost went to the game yesterday just to see him, and then they realized there was going to be 92 out. And they're like, you know what? Maybe we'll wait till next year if he's in the league next year. Egg on that face. Damn, they're cheering for the wrong guy.
It's kind of barely in the league this year. The Crew is just, I would say,
very lucky to be in the league this year.
Well,
no
he
doubt.
plays for the Rockies.
Correct. Keston Hira couldn't even make it there. Sorry.
Ouch. I saw Keston Hira jersey yesterday. Yeah.
I wonder if they knew that he already got cut from that team.
Was he cutting
a
the?
lot of people bought him that rookie year. A lot of people bought those.
Or he was, using it as like Mike Heller when he bought that Graham Mertz jersey. Like I
just want to support the kid.
I need a shirt to cut the lawn in.
Yeah.
There was
just like the Sky Bolt jersey that I have.
Yeah,
it was from the clubhouse store. Those Keston Hira shirts were being sold for like 2 or 3 years. And I have
now
a
for
Joey
$2 or $3.
I have a Joey Weaver shirt. I mean, come on. I mean, like,
who doesn't want that?
Yeah. Well, I can think of a few. Never mind. The Brewers are off today. They'll be at New York to play the Mets for 3 starting tomorrow. All right. Sad news over the weekend. The Brewers lost one. So the 2 former team short-term legends headed to Cooperstown, and we lost one of them on Saturday.
1-2. Big Dave, right field. Look out, say goodbye to home run. And Dave Parker goes 80 feet out of his way to make the big turn. Will time is dry. A 2-run homer, and it's 6-1 Milwaukee.
Dave Parker spent the 1990 season with the Brewers. Yep. He was their all-star that season, had a monster year.
Great year for them.
Hit 289, 21 home runs, 92 RBIs. He died on Saturday. He'd been suffering from Parkinson's disease for more than a decade. He was 74, and he missed his induction to Cooperstown by about 3.5
That's terrible. That's terrible. Very sad. He had a good year. He was like 39, I think. It reminds me of the Willie Randolph 91 year for the Brewers, where a really long time veteran had one resurgent year with the Brewers later on in their career. And that was,
you think about that 1990 Brewers team, Molitor, Yount, Parker, a young Gary Sheffield. Offensively, he was good. Defensively, let's just throw it into the third row. And
left some things to be desired. Would be a nice way of putting it.
And the Brewers did not have a successful season in 1990.
No. It's
the reigning MVP in Robin Yount.
I will say, was rather unfamiliar with Dave Parker's game. The highlight packages.
Oh my God,
amazing!
Big
and
bat.
as much as I will chastise. I'll go at the All-Star games were different. That highlight of him gunning Buddy from right field,
Brian Downing,
one of the cleanest throws of all time. Like I saw JP Morosi post this. Like this might be my favorite baseball play ever.
Yeah.
Dave Parker, phenomenal cat. That's a horrendous story. like you said, 3.5 weeks.
Yeah.
For getting something that was long deserved.
I mean, the silver lining is at least he knew he got elected and was
Good
going
point.
in.
That's fair,
He
Dave.
didn't get to be at the induction, but he knew.
Yep.
Big part of the We Are Family Pirates in '79.
I mean, he was an MVP.
Yeah.
He was an MVP.
Really
Seven-time All-Star. Yeah. Incredible player. Bucks News, Bobby Portis announces that he's come to terms on a 3-year, $44 million extension. So Bobby's sticking around.
I like that he announced it as well.
love
He's
the
like,
way-
listen,
yeah,
I know
That's what I said. Bobby Portis has announced that the Bucks haven't announced squat because they can't.
They can't. And Shams put it out there, and Bobby's like, don't worry about it, guys. I got you.
Yeah.
I'm back. He also been on the team for 7 years now. Still can't use their licensing, right? Still has to use the underdog on the name. Like it. I think it's actually a pretty solid deal. 3 years, $44 million. Slight raise for Bobby, right? Like you knew he was going to get a little bit of raise. Free agents are a dearth in the NBA this year. So like guys are going to get a decent amount of cash if he would have hit the open market. Listen, it's monitoring season. So we got one back. Giannis had asked Bobby when Bobby said, I ain't going anywhere on FanDuel TV. He goes, well, I want to know if you're coming back.
Yeah.
So there we go. I'm interested to hear if that report is going to be surfaced on First Take today.
They do lose Kevin Porter Jr., though. He's going to be an unrestricted free agent.
For now.
I
think KP2 knows where his best basketball can be played.
Perhaps.
Should
He
be
had
right
a $2.5 million player option. So in basketball, is that a lot of money? Of course. In basketball terms, is that a lot of money? No.
No, he's going to get a very, very nice little raise. The interesting one is, Doug, and I don't mean to step on you here.
No, please.
Would be Gary Trent Jr. Because, some people bet on themselves.
Yeah.
They'll bet a little too much on themselves.
Some people have.
Listen, when you bet too much, you lose. Apparently,
That's Nico over at UCLA.
Thank you. And apparently, again, all alleged. Malik Beasley bet and lost himself.
Well, yeah, that was another story. He's under federal investigation for gambling on NBA games while he played for the Bucks.
And in the midst of it, like he could mess with the Bucks twice here, because not only did his back half, you look at his Basketball Reference, you might be able to figure out exactly when he realized wait, hold on, I can make a bunch of money as long as I just bet on my unders.
Yeah.
His 3-point percentage went from almost 40% to like 28% the final 2 months.
That's a bad luck.
On top of the fact that he was set to probably be one of the better free agents in that realm, the off 3-and-D, 2-guard, 3 guys. Gary Trent Jr. quickly ascends back up there, and he might price himself right out of Milwaukee because Beasley's not going to get that.
Great point.
I believe it was supposed to be $42 million that he was going to get with Detroit this year.
Yeah, that could hurt the Bucks in that sense right there. And it was just so
he could hurt us twice.
The domino story, the dominoes could come back down on that, which would be a bummer.
That would be the reason you call the number when the fun runs out.
When the
Malik
fun
Beasley
stops.
story.
Yeah.
That's crazy. When the U.S. District Attorney's Office investigating, it's serious business.
Yeah, it's never a good look. It's never a good look when you've got guys that have blue windbreakers knocking on your door.
That's going to be a bad one. Yeah. Also, the videos yesterday were hilarious. Like the amount of incriminating videos where all of a sudden, like the one I think is him going up against the Pacers. I don't know if it's Halliburton Armin that blows by him, but he's sitting, Doug, he like breaks down in front. Guy blows by him and quickly just like turns around, doesn't even move the feet. Like, oh, I was supposed to guard him.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's a shame.
There's another video
guys.
of, I think it's an 8-point game. Free throw goes down. The number was 8.5. And Malik Beasley put in a layup on the other side.
Yeah.
The fastest he's ever flown down the floor. Just dumped that thing with 0.4 seconds. The amount of videos that were cut up yesterday, Armin, it was elite. Again, it's all alleged. I don't know if any of it's factual.
People looking
but it
around.
sure was good comedy.
Like,
the tape is there. The tape is the tape.
And you don't think much of it.
You know what they say? You played football. Tape don't lie.
Tape doesn't lie. Tape didn't lie for Malik Beasley.
And then there was also this tape that he had.
Oh, God.
I came here for a championship. I bet on myself. I bet that we would win. And
did you?
We just came up short.
Well, yeah, you lost that futures ticket.
But they win. Yeah, that's the worst type of futures ticket to lose too. Yeah. Well,
that's not even the emotional hedge, Armin.
Right. It's not. Definitely, it's the opposite.
You should have been teaching Malik Beasley how to bet.
That's the totally opposite. You bet against your seed, either win the championship and get that bonus, or you win the bet.
You should have taken the Celtics to win.
Not good at all. And it's easy to say. You look at it and say, you mean you really fumbled the bag. You're making this much in the NBA, and you're going to risk it all by making these wagers. But I don't know. It's just kind of unbelievable to see, but then it makes you wonder how maybe are we going to start looking at a side eye every time a guy doesn't dribble the ball out? And every time a guy doesn't, and our guy's going to be aware of that. Like, don't get me. Like, I was just trying to get some extra points, but you know what I mean? Things like that makes you wonder.
I'm all for gambling, of course, but gamble responsibly and gamble within not only your means, but within what
the rules.
The rules, the law.
Yes, the
because,
law.
The rules are one thing. The rules of basketball are one thing. There's when
That's
the feds
federal law.
the feds get involved, that goes beyond just the rules of the game.
And it's happened many times in the sport before. Everyone, of course, Pete Rose is the famous example.
But he got pinched. Legally pinched for tax evasion.
Right.
So he got banned from baseball for betting on his team, but he got thrown in jail for tax evasion.
Paul Hornung was banned in '63. Is that right?
Yeah.
But he never got in trouble with the law, as far as I know.
Right. He got banned for a year
Yeah.
and was back.
Well, and the interesting thing is, and I don't know where you guys fall in on it. I don't have a lot of hot takes on certain instances. This one is pretty steadfast for me. He can never play in an NBA game again.
Never.
Like the swiftness that the league has to act with. And I got a lot of the text, and they are funny, of this report brought to you by DraftKings and their pick 5, right? Or
exactly
presented by the Potawatomi Sportsbook.
ESPN Bet, yeah.
The only way that this rocket ship of an association crumbles, they just signed $11 billion worth of television rights deals.
Yeah.
Think of that.
But it's got to be on the up and up.
But it all comes down to this situation. And Doug, to that point, their one thought, one click of any sportsbook institution or any federally regulated gaming commission believing that this could be close enough to professional wrestling, that all of that money goes away.
Yeah, because it's all predicated on it being a legitimate endeavor.
1,000%. And especially in the NBA, more than any other one, more than even in the NFL, where some of the rules were herky-jerky. Some of them were, but it's pretty clean cut. Not inside of a team facility, not on any team bus, not on any team plane. You can go and bet on your college football team if you want. Go ahead. That's fine. It cannot have anything to do with the National Football League, because if indeed that goes and that gets pinched, and I saw a lot of people say, well, but it's all over. They got all these endorsers, they all go away and both sides lose.
Yeah.
In the NBA, it is a clean 50-50 split. So while the teams are, yes, getting rich on DraftKings and Caesars and the Potawatomi Sportsbook and such, the players are getting exactly half. And all of that goes away for both sides. If any bit of this becomes factual and more than just a Jonte Porter one-off or Malik Beasley a year and a half ago, and he gets the book thrown at him. Like, you got to stop it as quickly as possible.
You have a
like
problem
they did with Tim Donaghy. That
great point.
Situation.
Great point. Even the appearance of impropriety is going to be a problem for people, obviously.
The slightest thought that it could be, Armin. Yes.
I mean, people still talk about that. The Tim Donaghy is a great example, because people still talk about the Kings-Lakers series. That if people are still turned off by the NBA sometimes, they still talk about that. Bucks fans still talk about what they believe happened in the Sixers-Bucks series. If true or not, it's the appearance of it or the thought that there might be some sort of integrity issue in the game. And the results of the game, you're right, Billy. It's an infection that would spread.
I don't want to, Doug. I don't know if you've listened. Can we stop giving Tim Donaghy a microphone?
Oh, he's been on some stuff.
Well, he can't stop.
Who keeps platforming him? That's my question.
That's the question.
A lot of podcasts out there that want
to, because they'll say yes, and he's a big name, and it's all about clicks.
Right.
Oh my God.
A lot of podcasts that want to guess. That's part of it too, Billy. I mean, I always joke about there's still too many podcasts out there. That's part of it. I hate to say it.
I mean, how many great sports podcasts are there out there that get, huge numbers?
Yeah, like if I got
Tim Donaghy, you're gonna get some more.
If
clicks.
I got to look at another 80-second TikTok with Tim Donaghy flashing over to a couple of still shots from games that he called 25 years ago and saying, Tim Donaghy telling you what's about to happen in the NBA Finals.
Pardon my take.
That's
doesn't
fascinating.
have
I'd love that.
New Heights doesn't have them, but they don't need them either.
Yeah.
It's all these other
ones.
Exactly.
Right.
And the big ones don't need that. But Billy, there is an aspect. I know what you mean. I agree with you. But unfortunately, people do love a good mystery story, conspiracy story, whatever it is. And they're like, oh man, this guy's going to tell us what really happened. And there's a cottage.
There's been books and books and books stating the fact that Buddy doesn't know what's going on in the NBA right
I agree with you, but
he's actually selling you a complete hill of beans as to what he was talking
and people
about.
don't care. They want a good story. I see podcast clip after podcast clip, and they're fun to watch, of old NBA players telling stories about other old NBA players and how I had 30 in the first half, and then Jordan came back. You go back and look at the box scores. These guys are just really fabricating a lot of stories because it's fun to storytell. It's a fish story, and people get into it, and people love hearing the story, whether or not it's true or not, Billy. And that's to your point, exactly what's happening here. Unfortunately, we're talking about something that could have real impact because you're talking about real things like throwing games and gambling and things like that. So
also, anybody think it's interesting that the Four Letter Network wanted to throw that out while Giannis is potentially still floating around? I saw that conspiracy theory go out yesterday from Bucks fans.
Is Giannis still floating around?
They're like, the NBA is
still
putting
trying
this
to push
out
that?
here, and they're still trying to push him out. They're still trying to send him in like, hey, man, they can't even control their own locker room. They got guys betting on games for you.
yeah, I mean,
that's why you got to get out of Milwaukee.
It makes you laugh, but exactly, that's the next step of it, right? That's the next.
We go as far conspiracy theory as possible, and I enjoy putting the tinfoil hat on every once in a while. It is an interesting endeavor. That one was something else yesterday, and I was sitting there for a good 45 minutes watching every Malik Beasley video I could, just actually LOLing, Doug. And I'll tell you, it's a good ab workout. When you can watch that many videos of somebody potentially point shaving or throwing games, it will make you laugh.
And that'll get him thrown in jail.
Yeah, I also saw a tweet that he had of, we'll be back. Said, you won't.
I had somebody.
His career is over. I hope it
It's
was
done.
worth it.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what he was betting, but if you can play even as a middling player in the NBA, that's $10 million a year. Even if you never get off the bench, that's like $10 million a
This
year.
isn't the Fresno State baseball players.
Right. This is not like,
Right, like those kids at Iowa State that people were just lambing. How on earth could you do this? They're playing Big Ten baseball. And Dave, I don't mean any disrespect to college baseball. Big Ten baseball, what are you getting? You're getting a 60% scholarship?
Yeah.
70% scholarship? If that. Like, this is not where you're making 7 digits. So I understand those kids saying, hey, I can get $1,500 here as long as I strike out one time. Oh, cool. Okay. That temptation is there. This should not be. And it's so clearly defined as to what the rules are. Problem for you. Sucks.
Yeah.
Sucks to suck. You got to understand what you're getting yourself into. And that is a clear L, and one that will be handled really swiftly, I would assume, by the NBA.
Well, by the NBA, yes, the wheels of justice move a little bit slower, but the NBA,
you're right, Doug.
But the NBA is like, no.
Great Midwest goodbye.
No.
I had a question from, I think it was Joe, and it was a tweet or a text line. I saw it, and there's a couple of questions out there. Would the NBA do what the NCAA has done and vacate team results based on it? And someone said, good thing the Bucks didn't win the title during them.
No, they've never done that.
They've never done it, right? I don't think they would, but
I think
don't
that's
know.
silly anyway, because those games still happened.
But
And usually
they wouldn't take away the Larry O'Brien trophy from a team. I don't think, right? So I don't think.
I can't think so.
I can't imagine.
Yeah, but anyway, it was a question I had that I pondered because I hadn't been an issue ever. They had never done anything like that. So.
The answer to the question, I would say, is the odds of that happening are exceedingly
low,
slim to none. I don't think it'll ever happen.
Yeah, they didn't take the World Series away from the Astros with their trash can banging scheme.
Malik Beasley's got a better chance of hitting a parlay than that happening. 877-794-973. I'd love to know if he was going futures, right? Was he going Calvin Ridley, like 8-leg parlays?
Probably.
That was the tough one. My man Calvin Ridley's away from the team, and he's betting on the Falcons to win. That's when you know the fun stopped.
That's it right there.
That's when you call 1-800-GAMBLER real quick.
People were frustrated for him at the time, saying, listen, he wasn't involved. Why can't you do this? And it's like, well, sorry, buddy. Those are the way. That's the rules of this game.
Rules are pretty clean.
Yeah.
It's pretty clean.
Billy, maybe he was hitting those parlays if he was tailing the parlay of the day because he got another hit there on.
Well, I was going to say, then he was wildly successful last week. 2 out of 5 last week.
Wow.
Yeah. Dougie, parlay of the day power after paternity leave is a real thing.
Okay.
So all you got to do is have a second kid.
Okay.
Then the intensity and the focus really turns up.
All right.
Because you realize there's more diapers, and you're going to start this whole cycle.
That's
2.5
fair.
years in.
Focus,
Diapers
edge.
aren't cheap.
That's
No.
why Billy's doing great.
You know
right
what
now.
also aren't cheap are pull-ups. Just learned that one this week. Those are really not cheap.
Diaper
It's a transition
adjacent.
diaper, right?
Really not cheap. And I don't exactly know why we have them, because they don't contain the pee, and it's just like right through, and then you still clean it up. But
it doesn't work, right?
Yeah.
We need absorption.
That's a rant for a whole nother day where we
nother
don't have as much sports to discuss. Dougie, always appreciate it. buddy.
Sounds good.
Thanks,
We'll see you at
Dave.
11.
We'll talk to you at 11, and we're going to talk to Jim Osarski coming up in about 15 minutes from right now about the Milwaukee Bucks, about what they can do around the fringes with their roster, as well as that Bobby Portis deal. And definitely sneak in a conversation quickly about Malik Beasley, because Jim Osarski was covering the Milwaukee Bucks when Beasley was playing. also would have been covering the game this year in which Giannis shimmied in front of Malik Beasley, and Malik Beasley was very upset. Little did we know he had the Pistons money line. Like, that was maybe why he was more upset. Not the fact that he let the ball go right through his hands and got swatted by Giannis. Instead, it was the fact that they didn't cover. 877-794-1973. He's Armin Sari, and he's got you covered on every gatekeeping deal with the Baseball Hall of Fame that we could possibly have, as well as...
Yeah, that's true. I didn't mention the late great Dave Parker. You notice I didn't say anything.
I saw the wheels turning. I was very glad that you said that.
I didn't say anything. He's an MVP, World Series champ. Great man. Great
only
player.
330 home runs, but that's fine. Armin will do that later. I'm Billy Schmid. It's No BS on the game.
And asked me for a light, and the night got deathly quiet, and his face lost all expression. Said, if you're gonna play the game, boy, you gotta learn to play it right. You got to know when to hold up, know when to fold up, know when to walk away.
Now, it's your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website, Bills. That's Bills. Enter it now. TheGameandStuff.com. TheGameandStuff.com.
To every contractor, delay is a dirty word. Avoid using those what the moments with blazing fast, reliable solutions from Packer Fastener. Need job site delivery? Relax, they're already on the way. Prefab needs? They'll cut it, kit, assemble, and drop them where you want them. Inventory help? Get stocked, locked, and always there with job boxes, Connex boxes, vending, or vendor management. Order threaded, rod, strut, hangers, and more. No shortages, no delays, no excuses. PackerFastener.com. It's how it gets done.
Coming up Monday, the Mike Heller Show goes noon to 3 on the game. Matt LePay always joins us on Monday. We look back at the Brewers and Rockies over the weekend and a road trip that starts in New York and the other news of the day. Monday, the Mike Heller Show, noon to 3 on the game.
Our iHeartRadio Music Festival, presented by Capital One, is back in Vegas.
T-Mobile Arena.
September 19th and 20th, streaming live only on Hulu. 15 artists, 2 nights, 1 stage. Get tickets now at AXS.com.
Capital One is the proud presenting partner of iHeartRadio Music Festival, bringing great products, rewards, and services to its customers. What's in your wallet?
Without an Advent clinic nearby, people suffering needlessly from chronic nasal congestion and sinus infections would be stuck with either Band-Aid or Sledgehammer solutions. Band-Aids are pills or nasal sprays, and they're not true solutions. Surgery is a sledgehammer, and that's what we're trying to avoid. Because most people don't need surgery for nose and sinus issues, nor do they want a 14-day recovery. Our unique Advent approach can, in 20 minutes in our office, open your blocked nose for good, with only 1 day recovery. I'm Advent founder Dr. Kandula. Outside of Advent's 4 walls, invasive surgery is what they'll recommend. But here you will find effective and convenient in-office solutions to help you stop the need for Band-Aids and avoid the sledgehammer.
Go to adventknows.com to schedule your appointment, because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better. Most insurance accepted.
Still getting around to that fix on your car? You got this. On eBay, you'll find millions of parts guaranteed to fit. Doesn't matter if it's a major engine repair or your first time swapping your windshield wipers. eBay has that part you need, ready to click perfectly into place for changes big and small. Loud or quiet, find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. But you already know that. eBay. Things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want to boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/radio to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments, including pills, chews, and more, 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/radio. That's hims.com/radio. HIMS.com/RADIO.
Hey, Joy. Oh, you are glowing.
Oh, hey, more like Mira Joyed. That Miralax helped me go. I was so backed up. Tried mega coffees, prune juice, everything. Then Miralax. And hello, gentle relief without the harsh side effects.
Ooh, how does it work?
It works naturally with the water in your body for constipation relief. Find Miralax today at your local retailer.
Use as directed for occasional constipation. Are you annoyingly inattentive? Do you watch a movie and then ask a zillion questions because you weren't paying attention? Do people ask, how do you sleep at night? Then you should get a mattress from Mattress Firm. They can help anyone sleep. Mattress Firm's July 4th sale is on now. Get a king bed for a queen price and save up to $700. Plus, get a free adjustable base with select Sealy mattresses. Get matched at Mattress Firm. Sleep at night. Restrictions apply. See store or website for details.
Alzheimer's disease is the sixth leading cause of death in the country, and it's affecting almost 7 million Americans, including 110,000 people here in Wisconsin. UW-Madison is working hard to improve the lives of those affected, offering resources to educate and the latest in research and technology. The UW Initiative to End Alzheimer's has so many ways you can benefit, learn, get involved, and make a difference. Visit goalsforacure.org. That's goalsforacure.org.
You've got an app for your music, but what about your favorite morning show, sports team, or live local news and weather?
Things start to change.
Yep, there's an app for all that too. iHeartRadio. Download the #1 app for radio, the free iHeartRadio app.
Make 97.3 The Game your #1 preset on our free iHeartRadio app. Powered by Gruber Law.
One call, that's all.
Injured?
Remember, one call, that's all.
Live from the all-new Iron Jock Studios, built by Rima Remodel. This is No BS with Billy and Saria.
I've waited for this. I'm so excited.
On The Game.
No BS on The Game. Billy and Sarian not BSing you with this deal from HappyPlaceHemp.com. Guess what? They're Patriots. Not New England Patriots. American Patriots.
That's good. I like
We're going
that.
to celebrate our beautiful country coming up. Celebrate the hell out of America on Friday. There are certain days of the year that I get very, very excited in the morning. Generally,
opening day.
Yes.
That's a big one, right?
10 Sundays from yesterday.
The first NFL
Sunday.
First NFL Sunday.
Less than 10 weeks away from the home opener at Lambeau Field. But I won't get too excited there. 4th of July.
Yeah, for sure.
Is one of my, if not the favorite holiday of the year.
It's just epic. I mean, there's just excitement abound. There's going to be activities. There's going to be celebration. You know, you're in the middle of summer. You know, it's going to be a banger of a day.
I think everybody, depending upon what village, town, neighborhood you live in, you will get a little bit territorial and say ours is the best one.
We've got the best parade. Haven't you been to our parade? Our parade's better than your parade.
I think a lot of people would understand when you go to a Hales Corners 4th of July. You're like, holy cow, this is a serious deal.
I've heard about it.
There.
Even Dave Gasper, he's a New Berliner.
No, listen, and I know, and I've heard about it. People talk about the Hales Corners parade. I've also heard about the Tosa parade.
Fireworks.
I've also
fireworks. Thank you, Dave.
Are top notch.
Yeah, but everyone's got fireworks.
But not all shows are created equal.
Thank you, Dave.
I'll agree on the parade thing. You can have different types of parades, different levels. I think if you've seen fireworks, you've seen them all. I'm sorry. I'm going to say it.
What a horrendous
You
take.
might as well just get on a high perch somewhere.
Hold on. You think parades have more variants than fireworks?
Just fireworks. And what about the whistlers? I don't hear the whistlers anymore.
You will if you go to Hales Corners.
I want to hear those whistlers.
You want to hear some groundworks? Hales Corners Park, baby.
I'm sorry. I'm going to say it.
Groundworks that light up into an American flag?
I get bored. I get bored by fireworks after a couple minutes. I get bored. I get absolutely bored.
God.
All right, their fireworks are up there. Boom, boom. Yeah, that's pretty
Parade
cool.
or fireworks? Which one are you taking?
Parade.
You can only go one.
I'm a parade guy all the way. Excitement, vibes, high-fiving, people, candy, things to see. You know, it's just excitement. It's new, something new. If you fireworks are the same parade float every
hold
time.
on, something new. The fire trucks haven't changed.
Okay, I get the fire trucks, but every float
Somebody
is
rides
different.
down in a Corvette.
I love the Corvette Club, or it used to be the Fieros. The Fiero
You know,
Club.
somebody's got their Camaro in there. Like,
Miss
what
New
am-
Berlin, Miss Hales Corners.
Okay.
What am I
It's going to
missing?
be the mayor. It's going to be the same
kids
groups, the
throwing out
Lions
candy.
Club with their corn.
Fireworks are
you
so
know.
much
You,
better.
you don't get fired up when you see the Boy Scouts come on the bikes and stuff like that, or whatever.
No, that
it is.
does not fire me up.
No,
Fire you
no.
up when
You know
see
what
them-
fires
the
me up?
marching band come through. Come on.
Beautiful blue, yellow, pink, and red blasting off into the sky.
I like seeing the green
like
field.
the bombs bursting in air.
The
cool.
smell of gunpowder in the air. Nothing gets
Thank you,
more
Dave.
American than that.
The first few are cool.
Our country was founded upon.
The first few are cool. I'm just saying it wears off after a hot second. I'm like, all right. After a while, I'm like,
the finale is also pretty darn cool.
the finale's annoying. It's
Thank you.
boring.
Finale's
Jacked up.
annoying.
Thank you.
I'm covering my ears. I'm covered-
877-794-1973.
like, when is this over?
Oh my goodness.
I love parades.
877-794-1973.
I
Armin,
like
I love
fire-
you, but these are some horrible takes.
Oh
I
my
like
God. I
fireworks.
can't believe what I'm hearing right now.
Just
This is
find
terrible.
them boring. Yet people trying to take pictures of fireworks. Pictures of fireworks never turn out.
Pictures of fireworks are not good. I
It's a
will agree with you
horrendous
on that.
endeavor.
Like taking pictures, not the same.
Stop
but,
it with stop it, Karen, with your fireworks pictures.
But that's why you enjoy the moment.
I would
you just
contend-
put the phone down, enjoy the
I
moment.
got one of my best digital assets is with fireworks in the background and your boy down on one knee asking my beautiful wife to marry me.
Okay, well
that's a different situation.
That's a good
I think
one.
that's a beautiful digital asset
That is
with
a
the
beautiful
lights
digital
going
asset.
off and the coordination there.
The moment's great.
Yeah.
I think you are
that is great.
dropping the ball here.
First of all,
877-794-1973.
That's Disney fireworks. You can't compare those to 4th of July because you're in Disney.
You have
right?
never been to Hales Corners 4th of July.
I'm just saying you're in Disney and you can't compare your proposal to regular fireworks. Come on, you can't compare that. Like
I'm not comparing. These aren't regular fireworks. This isn't Phantom fireworks. All due respect to everybody in Lamira. A phenomenal job. I see your advertisements for 25 miles, and I always think about stopping.
Yep.
the Crazy Eds or whatever. These
This
names.
is Hales Corners 4th of July fireworks. This is the Super Bowl of fireworks
Oh,
shows of the
come
4th of July.
No, Festa Italiana was the Super Bowl.
You shut your mouth.
That's
877-794-1973. 877-794-1973. 877-794-1973.
And the dancing grannies.
Parades
The
are
da-
fireworks.
the da-
It's an easy layup answer. 877-794-1973.
I'm just saying.
We gotta know when we're gonna trip one of these triggers.
I'm okay
Because
with
we can't stop this immediately and have to get to Jim Osarski.
I'm not against
I'm
the
excited to hear what
fireworks.
Jim Osarski has to
We're
say.
going to get to him. All right, we'll do this again.
I bet Jimmy O is going to answer this correctly. Fireworks better than parade for the 4th of July. It doesn't even seem like it doesn't even seem debatable to me. 877-794-1973. We are in the all-new Iron Jock Studios built by Reamer Remodel.
I saw him the other day. I saw the boys from Reamer here the other day.
They were wandering around. They're working.
Give him a
Oh,
big,
yeah.
firm handshake, man.
Look at you. That a blue collar handshake, some would
Collar,
say.
that's right, baby.
And make sure you go to ironjock.com for the best 4th of July deals because Iron Jock is trying to put a deal in your pocket right now. A big deal. Now through July 13th, $100 or more in your cart. You get an automatic 40% off markdown of your entire order. Can't do 100 right now by $50 or more. Save 30% off automatically. No promo code needed. ironjock.com. Jim Osarski, you can join us on the other side. He's going to answer the real important questions. Bobby Portis, 3 years, $44 million. What else can the Bucks do? But first, we're going to have to get where he stands on parade or fireworks. And you at 877-794-1973. It's no BS on the game.
4th of July, 'cause baby, you're a firework. Come on, show 'em what you work. Make 'em go, as you shoot across the sky. Baby, you're a firework.
Right now, it's your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website, Bills. That's Bills. Enter it now. TheGameandStuff.com. TheGameandStuff.com.
Shipping theft, fraud, corruption. Criminals never rest. Luckily, neither does Packer Freight. Packer Freight protects your shipments by fighting high risks with an arsenal of high-tech tools. Their hard-hitting strategies add layers of defense by verifying carrier identities, extending real-time visibility into truck movements, and tracking assets with sensors and AI-powered insights, all backed by ruthless vigilance. Steal your freight? Forget about it. For the grit that won't quit, visit PackerFreight.com.
Summerfest 2025. 9 days of live music featuring over 600 artists. Get the latest lineups, food and beverage experiences, and more at summerfest.com.
We know that the people of Milwaukee are hard workers, that they're tough. But even the toughest among us need help after a serious accident. If you've been injured, call Gruber Law Offices today. One call, that's all.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
Hey, it's Armin, and I have to tell you, I could not be happier with our new 97.3 The Game broadcast studio built by Rima Remodel. It's been a game changer, all thanks to the Rima Remodel team. RIEMER remodel.com.
We're definitely going to be late to the concert. I feel like we should be there by now.
I'm just taking a little detour. I gotta fill up my gas tank, and I know this place a couple towns over where the gas is cheaper.
Are you serious? We're gonna be late for the concert because you're driving out of the way for cheaper gas? Just use Upside.
What's Upside?
Upside is the free cashback app that gets you real cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait, I can get cash back just for buying the gas I need anyway?
Yes, I use it all the time, and I've made around $200. Now pull over so you can download the Upside app before we miss the concert.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code OIL25 to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime, right to your bank, PayPal, or as a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code OIL25 for 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code OIL25 for 25 cents per gallon bonus. That's code OIL25.
Okay, raise your hand if you want to make your life a little bit easier. Great. Now raise your other hand if you like to be comfortable. Perfect. Now that you have both hands raised, imagine putting on your shoes. And that, folks, right there is your answer to an easier, more comfortable life. Go hands-free with Skechers Slip-ins. This is footwear you don't need your hands to put on. They can be raised in the air, and you can just step it and go. Why don't you experience what people can't stop talking about? Life-changing Skechers Slip-ins. Get your Slip-ins at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever stylish footwear is sold.
The Fox 6 weather experts are presented by AdventKnows.com.
Showers and thunderstorms return this afternoon. Should see a high near 86 and still a little sticky with the higher dew points today. Overnight tonight, we clear out, drop into the mid-60s, and from there back into the low to mid-80s for tomorrow with lots of sunshine. I'm Fox 6 Chief Meteorologist Rob Haswell.
This report is sponsored by Argo Glass and Windows.
No need to replace windows when you can repair them. Argo Glass and Windows, always offering free estimates. Rotted wood, foggy glass, hard to slide patio door. There's no need to replace if you can repair them. Visit ArgoWindowRepair.com.
At the game, we've always been about sports. I love sports and stuff.
I'm multifaceted.
So recently, we spent a lot of money using a consultant to come up with a new name for our website. After minutes of research, we're excited to announce 97.3 thegame.com is now thegameandstuff.com. Really? That's it. Thegameandstuff.com. Your favorite shows, live, podcasts, cool videos, and more. Thegameandstuff.com. That's it.
No BS on the game. 877-794-1973. People are already hammering the talking text line, answering the very, very important question at this moment that we just stumbled upon during the last segment. Parade or fireworks on the 4th of July? I don't know that it's much of a competition. Fireworks blow them out of the water. I mean,
you have to admit there's less variation in the activity. There's less range.
There's like
3 types of fireworks. All right, the regular, the groundworks, the whistlers, maybe and the poppers. There's maybe 4 types. A parade has an exponential, infinite amount of different types of things you can see.
No, you don't. You have the same small businesses putting together their intern to walk out there and hold a banner.
The same high school marching band,
thank you, Dave.
playing the same couple of songs.
Do not talk
You
about
got
our
the
local
same
realtors.
groups. I'm not bad-mouthing them, but they're the same ones.
I'm glad they're here.
They're walking in the realtors are walking in the parade.
Yeah, I'm glad the local realtor is standing in there and making sure to
New
put
Berlin Lions Club with an inflatable corn thing.
You
and
love
see
that.
everyone walking by, waving.
Yeah.
It's not close to me, but people will answer the question at 877-794-1973. Jim Osarski is going to answer us a lot of Bucks important questions about NBA free agency, Bobby Portis re-signing, who can the Bucks bring back, who can they find? But before that, from the Milwaukee Journal Sentinel, Jim Osarski is going to answer the burning question here today that stumbled upon on No BS. Jimmy, long time, appreciate it as always, man. Parade or fireworks on the 4th of July? Am I all wet on this one? It's fireworks by a landslide, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm not. I don't want to be around any people, and I don't like parades in general. So yeah,
that's fair.
Now, I've got
Jimmy.
beef with fireworks also. Like, this is really not a thing for me, like in either way. But if I got to pick, I'll go fireworks.
Especially with like small dogs or small children, fireworks are not always the greatest thing, especially late at night. But it's something else. That grand finale, Armin said, boring.
Well, you can't. First of all, fireworks are sort of like a movie. Going to a movie, you can't talk to anybody. You can't chop it up. You can't offer comment. You can kind of offer commentary.
You know what you could do in the movie?
Sit and watch.
I was going to say other things on that blanket.
That's totally
877-794-1973. Let's stop wasting Jim Ozarski's time with this nonsense.
Let's do that,
Jimmy O, yesterday, Bobby Portis back in the fold. I don't know if this was remarkably surprising, but if your mentions are the same as mine, pretty much every single Bucks game, there's a lot of fans that are always complaining about Bobby Portis's production during games. However, it felt like they desperately couldn't lose him in free agency with the 3-year, $44 million with the player option deal he gets yesterday, reportedly.
Yeah, I mean, I think Bobby, Brooke Lopez, Pat Connaughton, those are guys who are victims of their own success and longevity in town, guys. I mean, Chris Middleton lived through this, core members of a championship team. It's 5 years later. The team has gotten worse. So where do you direct your ire, right? Bobby is obviously a walking double-double, a great reserve for Giannis specifically, or another 5. Down year. Obviously, a lot went on for Bobby off the court, right? And maybe that hurt his overall market. But no, a very important piece to bring back for the Bucks, and at a dollar value, guys, that's just above the non-taxpayer mid-level exception. And what does that mean? It's a nice deal, right? Like, Bobby gets paid, the Bucks aren't totally stretched, in the coming, in the out years of this. And people kind of forget he's a few months younger than Giannis.
Yeah.
So it's
He's
not
still
like, this whole thing of the Bucks need to get younger, again, in game 5 or 6 or whatever it was in Indiana where they lost, Giannis was the oldest guy on the court for the Bucks. So it's a good signing, I think, for both parties.
Yeah, and I think you mentioned the part that I don't think gets thought about enough. And these guys are real people off the court, and he did have a rough year. Obviously his grandmother passed, hit the home robbery. It's hard to imagine anyone being at their best at work when all those things are going on in their personal life. So you have to like to think that if those things can get resolved or time can pass on those things, and he can be able to be more focused on having a better year, it's very possible that he could. And there's something to be said, isn't there, Jimmy, for having a guy that loves Milwaukee, that has obviously had a visceral connection with the fan base, and is still part of, a touchstone part of the team besides the biggest one, obviously, Giannis.
Yeah, for sure. Look, man, you're talking about this is entertainment, and there are fans, right? And so, I mean, I guess aside from the parade and the stage, but Bobby last year stepping on a beer can and exploding everywhere, like, how Milwaukee is that, right? Like, This guy has been part of iconic images, I guess, in more ways than one. And look, man, this team needs to get better. They've regressed, but Bobby Portis is not part of that problem. So you're right, Armin. It checked a couple boxes, both with the fan base, the pro shop, if you're the Bucks, and even on court. He's still a very good player.
Well, and Jim Owczarski joining us here from the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel. Read his piece, JS Online, up this morning and it's very clean cut, and it's what everyone asks us. What options do the Bucks have in free agency, salary cap, and roster-wise? The breakdown is all here with the numbers attached to it. Jim, this salary cap has become so confusing after the last CBA. However, I think we're starting to now see teams operating as it is pretty cleanly a hard cap in the second apron. You're not able to do a lot of the roster construction things from aggregating salaries like you used to do. But then after a couple of years, like, you're really hamstrung on who you can even bring in, if you can bring anybody in. How important for this summer, albeit my man had a Tony Snell stat line in game 1 of the Eastern Conference playoffs, round 1 against the Pacers. Kyle Kuzma was a lightning rod for us on this radio show. However, that deal, if it's not for the money that they are able to shed in the salary cap, they're really not able to do much of anything up against the second apron this offseason, correct? Like, they're still not in a great spot financially. They don't have cap room, so to speak, but they have some flexibility where before that deal, they wouldn't have had any, right?
Yeah, look, if they were a second apron team, which they were prepared to be, when they began the year with Chris Middleton, I think if the big three, as we knew it, had been healthy and rocking and rolling, and this team made an Eastern Conference Finals run, guys, I don't think ownership trades Chris. They sort of roll with it, and we would have seen Chris maybe dealt this summer, for instance, as opposed to at the deadline. Like, I think the Bucks' lack of success last year, as well as Chris's unavailability, created this, right? And yes, moving off of Middleton's money was a big deal because it does give the Bucks a chance to re-sign Gary Trent Jr., Kevin Porter Jr. I think they'd like back. We'll see. I mean, there's a lot of moves being made in the league right now, guys, for younger point guards, guys of that ilk. But yeah, it is a hard cap. And basically, guys, what we're seeing now, our teams have 2-year windows. That's it. It's 2 years. Maybe if you're like the Pacers or the Thunder, you have 3 years because your core is maybe locked in at an earlier rate. But then you look at Tyrese Halliburton's injury, and guess what, guys? That Pacers window is close. Yep. Like, when he's ready to be Tyrese Halliburton again, that team is not going to look like it did these last 2 years. And so, the Bucks, in reality, guys, like, the Dame injury hurts them. Yes. Like, it would they have pivoted off Dame and Chris after last year? Probably, because it's just you're right, Bill. It's a hard cap. These teams, they cannot. It's not the money, and that's the interesting part about this, guys. If it was just tax dollars, Jimmy Haslam and Wes Edens, I can tell you guys, would have no problems writing the check.
Yep.
But you can't add players. You can't trade away guys. You can't trade draft picks. It's just, this is what ownership wanted. The players union, for some reason, agreed to it.
Thank you.
and guys are getting cut. They're getting traded. And honestly, the dollars aren't there. Bobby's 14.6 annually. That's a nice salary, but let's not kid ourselves. 4 years ago, he's a $20 million player.
It's not Alan Crabb getting 4 years at $72 million, or Evan Turner's deal a number of years ago. To your point, Jim. Right? Yeah.
So look, Gary Trent's another great example, guys. He took a $16 million pay cut last year to come to the Bucks. That was his best. A $16 million pay cut was his best option, and now he's looking at maybe making $7 to $10 million.
Yeah.
So that's a raise, but that's nowhere close to what he made before this last CBA.
Yeah, and people that are listening are like, "Wow, I hope he can feed his family." And absolutely, so like those are the questions. But like the part of it, Jim, is, and I'm glad you said it as well, because I'm not smart enough to know if all of the ways that I look at it are as factual as I feel, right? Like it doesn't appear that there was a real sense of understanding from the Players Association as to how restrictive this would be in terms of what that middle class was always almost getting in the NBA, and what those he's a $20 million a year guy. Well, that's now a $14 million a year guy. And those are huge numbers and a big discrepancy, to the point where, like, in 22, the frustration with the PJ Tucker deal was, it's just money. Just give them the money. It's just money.
Just pay it.
Now, you can't just give money at a problem and it work out. There's a lot of layers to it, and it does appear draft capital is going to become more and more a focal point in team building. Because like you said, you're going to have to churn out young players to be able to replace some costly veterans, and the Bucs are going to try to be able to find some of those veterans who maybe you get a little under market, but they're going to have to split some taxpayer exemptions, and there's spots for them to be able to improve, but the names might not be as sexy as people would like, right?
And honestly, Bill, I think that's the important part of this is it's not, not that stars aren't important. Obviously they are, because if you can get them, you want to get them, but it's about full on roster building. And I would argue, guys, the championship team we called in the Milwaukee area, we called Chris Middleton, Drew Holiday, and Giannis the big three. But in the scope of the NBA, they were not a big three.
Absolutely. Right.
Yep. Drew had one All-Star appearance. Chris was now should have been a 4-time All-Star, 3-time All-Star, but they were not, LeBron, Bosh, and Wade, like walking Hall of Famers.
Yeah.
And so they were a stronger team, 1 through 10 or 1 through 8, whatever you want to call it. I think the Bucs, they took a swing with Dame. That was a massive. You're bringing in a Hall of Famer, top 75 guy. Now, Bill, they've got to go back to that roster building of 18 to 20, where guess what? Brooke Lopez was signed on a biannual exemption.
Mm-hmm.
Bobby Portis was signed on a biannual exemption. Bryn Forbes was part of a non-taxpayer mid-level exception. PJ Tucker, yes, it cost a first-round pick, but that was a shrewd move used with DJ Augustine's money.
Yep.
Taxpayer exemption. You need to build this roster out now with maybe names that aren't great, but John Horst and his staff, that's what they're charged to do with this, guys. Like, use this money to sign guys who maybe not be stars, maybe they're not going to be all stars, but they just fit better around Giannis. They could give you a little more than what we've seen from these last couple of years. Gary Trent, I think, checked that box. We'll see if Kevin Porter is that guy. Maybe it's another player who you look at the stat line, you're like, wow, that's not awesome. But I don't think anyone thought Pat Connaughton, guys, in 2018 was going to be a core member of a title team.
Right.
But he was. So was Bobby. And so I think, Bill, to your point, that's it. Like, yeah, that there's limited flexibility, but done correctly, that's how you're going to win now in this league. And I think, we'll see if John Horst can hit, 2 for 3 again, like he did last year with Trent and Porter and to a degree, Taurean Prince.
All right, we got 1 minute, Jim. Always appreciate the time, and it's always phenomenal. So thank you so much for it. You get all of it. Is the amount of conversation with the Bucs, we got like 45 seconds. Is all the conversation around Giannis nationally, is that similar to how the Bucs are feeling right now under the impression you get, or is there been more conversation between the two than maybe a Shams Charania would report?
I mean, they talk all the time, guys.
Thank you.
Bucs fans have lived this for 7 years. Yeah. It is, he wants the team to get better. First round exits are not good. They've gotten worse. That's a real thing. That's a real issue for Giannis. So, yeah, they've got to get better. But I don't think that's any different than any summer since the title year.
Great stuff, Jim.
Thank goodness, Jim. Because as we discussed on this show, I was definitely looking into the future of maybe a ham or turkey sandwich that day for lunch. Like I didn't realize it was as groundbreaking as Greeny was making it seem to Shams when he threw it to him. But we got to have some fun and we got to get ratings. Jimmy, always appreciate it, man. Thank you for the time. Cannot wait for all your breakdown throughout free agency and into the offseason. And training camp will be here before we know it. We always appreciate it, man.
All right. Sounds good, guys. Talk to you then.
And it's Jim Owczarski joining us here from the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel, one of the absolute best. And you can
stuff.
follow all of his stuff on Twitter, and make sure you do subscribe to the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel to get all of his pieces as well. Hour 3 is around the corner. We got a Doug Russell update. We got a parlay of the day, and we got Bob Nightingale in 25 minutes talking about the Milwaukee Brewers here on The Game.
97.3 The Game, your number one preset on our free iHeartRadio app, powered by Gruber Law.
One call, that's all.
Injured?
Remember, one call, that's all.
When people think sleep apnea, they think CPAP. Now at Advent, we do all we can to help sleep apnea sufferers avoid the CPAP machine. And most sleep apnea sufferers who come to Advent are going to be able to avoid a CPAP altogether. Our unique Advent approach using simple in-office solutions can get your nose working and throat open all under one roof. You see, the root of every snoring and obstructive sleep apnea problem lies within the throat, nose, or both. At Advent, we know when we get the nose and throat working properly, most snoring and sleep apnea problems will subside. And we have the most simple and convenient, ultra-effective in-office solutions that can do just that. And this is why people have traveled by planes, trains, and automobiles from corners of the world you would never think of to find the sleep apnea and snoring relief you won't find elsewhere.
Go to adventknows.com to schedule your appointment because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better. Most insurance accepted.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/radio to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments including pills, chews, and more. 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/radio. That's hims.com/radio. HIMS.com/RADIO.
This June, it's your chance to name your price on any furnace or air conditioner at Thielman Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. That's right. Name your price and no reasonable offer will be rejected. Must be installed in June. Get exceptional equipment and expert installation from Thielman Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Don't wait. Name your price and call Thielman Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing today. Call 262-240-4085. That's 262-240-4085.
If you need to hire, it seems like the whole process can be exhausting. You search resumes, wait for the right candidates to apply, set up initial interviews. It's a lot of time and work. Well, what if you could meet with qualified candidates for your job the very next day? Now you can with Zip Intro from ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. Zip Intro is super easy to use. You simply pick a time, and it does all the work of finding and scheduling qualified candidates for you. Then you can choose who you want to talk to and meet with great people on back-to-back video calls as soon as the next day. Best of all, you save time and energy.
Try Zip Intro for free right now at this exclusive web address, ZipRecruiter.com/free. Zip Intro. Post jobs today. Talk to qualified candidates tomorrow. Once again, go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try it for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Message marked urgent. We're here for you now on the NicoleLaw.com talk and text line at 1-877-794-1973.
Did you know that more than 60 million Americans are about to hit the road for the 4th of July weekend? If you're planning on traveling this summer season, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. You can earn up to 35 cents every time you fill up.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $200-$300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app this 4th of July. Use promo code DRINK35 to get an extra 35 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Get a limited time 4th of July offer when you download the free Upside app and use promo code DRINK35 for a 35 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code DRINK35 for a 35 cents per gallon bonus. Offers vary by user and location. Go to upside.com for terms and conditions.
Crispy chicken's better in a Taco Bell taco or burrito or both. Try Taco Bell's new Crispy Chicken Taco and or burrito today at participating Taco Bell stores for a limited time only while supplies last. Contact store for availability.
It's 9 days of live music featuring over 600 artists and Drew and KB.
I love those guys.
Get the latest lineups, food and beverage experiences, and more at summerfest.com.
Grab the contest rules for 97.3 The Game at thegamemke.com.
Touchdown! Milwaukee's most listened to sports station and the home of your Green Bay Packers. A dagger right through the heart. WRN WFM Milwaukee, 97.3 The Game. There is no BS with Screamin' Sicilian Premium Craft Frozen Pizza. Find it in your local grocer's freezer and taste what all the screaming is about. Drop it.
He's very knowledgeable, very intelligent guy, very personable guy.
Here's Doug Russell.
All right, we started at American Family Field where the Brewers early on Sunday were thinking sweep.
And Yelich deep into left field. That's got a chance. Goodbye! Christian Yelich. Solo home run. Second homer of the inning for the Brew Crew, and it's 2-0.
DA on the call on FanDuel Sports Network, but former Brewer Orlando Arcia solo home run with 2 out in the 9th tied it. Then Colorado took advantage of their second chance.
McGill with the pitch, and it's flying to right field. It's a base hit. That will score Sam Hilliard. Third single today for Estrada puts the Rockies up in the 10th, 3-2.
I mean, he does sound surprised, Billy. I'll give you that.
Rather stunned. Yeah.
Oh my God, they're leading.
Oh my God.
He's calling it like
Dude,
this.
We're winning.
We're gonna win today,
Dude,
guys.
we're winning. We're winning right now. Nobody jinx it. Nobody jinx it.
You know what? And listen, if you win, few and far between, you appreciate those days more. I'm sure.
Yeah, I
know
talked
what
to
that
Len
was
Casper
like.
about that a year ago.
Right.
He's like, yeah, it's not great, but boy,
poor
those
Len.
wins you really do cherish.
I was working that year at the ballpark when the Brewers won like 56, whatever it was. And it was so fun when we won a game those days. I mean, we were like, Brewers won today. Let's go.
Listen, we had a lot of parties in college. When we went 1-9 my senior year.
Come on, what was that one like? Come on.
After we beat North Park, that was maybe the most up Club 400's ever been. Well, when you really start cherishing those dubs a lot more, it is a very, very fun feat. You mentioned Len Casper. God, such an amazing broadcaster, such a bad beat, because he said that he wanted to go do radio for the White Sox so he could
call the World Series.
Oops. Went to the White Sox. Yeah. So maybe in this next bye, because the Ishbias know how to win championships.
That's
Matt
true.
said we're gonna win multiple titles in the first 10 years in Phoenix.
Well, they got to the finals once.
Yeah, not with him. So they're very much close.
Right.
They're
That's true. That's a good point.
They're around, and you know what? Maybe the White Sox.
Robert Sarver was still around.
Maybe the White Sox with this new ownership are going to be competing for those championships.
I still say the 05 White Sox, not to get too deep back in here.
Let's get deep.
The Joe Creedys of the
05 White Sox, if you really look, and the Royals could be this team too, for that 2-year stretch. Yeah, all those guys. That's the real example of a team where if you want to hit lightning in the bottle for 1 year, where things just go your way and you hope for that as a fan, like you have that hope and faith that Bud Selig used to talk about, that's the team. They never built a dynasty. They never really made the playoffs a lot around those years. I think they did once in 08. That was the one team where everybody just played great all year and they just won all the time.
Championships forever. Still have
So
05.
if you have a hope and faith that you can maybe catch lightning in a bottle 1 year, that was it. And they were never to be heard from again. That White Sox team is what you're really hoping for.
But you know who got to cover that World Series? Me and the Pope.
Doug Russell and the Pope. Let's go. And you also, for one of those teams, you need a reliever with some pretty electric facial hair.
Bobby Jenks.
Yeah.
Yep. Didn't he have a full goatee? Wasn't that the Bobby Jenks deal?
And when Ozzy would call him in from the bullpen, he would just his arms out.
Put his arms out.
Put his arms out.
Get the big guy out there.
Get the big fat guy out.
It was like Duke from Major League, going to the Duke,
Yep.
That was a dangerous deal, though. The Duke was going to cage him.
But like, if you don't believe in building like process, like there are fans like just go all in or just make it happen, hope for the best. That was the 05 Sox, man. That was it.
It could happen.
Could happen. Could happen in Milwaukee. Trevor McGill, who has been spectacular this season, but every closer gacks up leads. Just happens. Part of baseball.
Yeah.
Listen, it doesn't matter that the Rockies are baseball's worst team.
Everybody's a big leaguer for a reason, and their season's obviously not going the way they want it to, but they still got 19 wins on the board, and one of them was today. So it is what it is, and fix it and move forward.
Yeah, that's all you can do.
Just love the competitiveness, though, of him grabbing that ball for the 10th inning, too. Right? Like, I mean, it doesn't go well in the ninth. At some point, they're looking over saying, big fella, you're going to have to help us out here again.
Yep.
And it doesn't go perfect, but he gets him out of that inning and was close enough.
McGill and the Brewers, they take today off. They get a day off in New York, so good for them.
Yeah, it could be a lot worse.
Could be a lot worse.
Could be a lot worse. I'm sure they're
probably going and hanging out with Knicks.
Probably. Why not?
I'm sure.
Yeah.
The only thing that I don't like about New York in the summertime is the smell.
Yeah, I've heard it smells like a dump.
There's a lot of garbage in that city. I'll tell you.
Yeah, and it's like 90 degrees there too. Like it is hot, and that's just.
So hopefully, but Central Park is lovely this time of year.
Oh yeah,
and it doesn't have all the garbage that the streets of Manhattan have built up because that smell is formidable.
That's where they've got that garbage Curry guy, right? Where he's shooting the trash bags from like 50 feet away.
So I think you're right, Billy. Yeah, I've seen that.
I mean, when you're going to Flushing, I mean, what do you expect?
Well, they're not probably staying there, but yeah, you're right.
I mean, they stay in Manhattan.
Yeah,
they'll probably stay at the Grand Hyatt.
Queens
That's usually where the teams stay.
Queens might be a little nicer, As Kramer once famously said, "Do you want to go see my parents in Queens?" Yeah, I love going to the country.
Yeah, Queens is not bad. Brooklyn is, up and coming.
I've never been to New York, so this is the one that I can't. I listen. Armin waxes really poetically about Boston. I can't get in there either.
I could probably do that about my mom's family's from New York.
Yeah, I was gonna say and I know you've been. Listen, I think my favorite is listening to Doug when you talk about when you used to go to the U.S. Open.
Oh yeah.
And your wife would be like, "All right, I'm just out of my meeting. Where are you?" I'm like, I'm 8.5 miles away. Sorry.
That's true.
It is really
where are you? Oh, I'm up at Lincoln Center.
Damn, I won't see you for a while.
I gotta get on the subway. But what do you do is you get the $20 3-day card for the subway, and I'm gold.
Listen to this guy. He knows. He's a local. Yep. He's a local. Listen to this guy. He's he might as well be a
It's the point where like New York to me feels like though for your first time you kind of have to go with a veteran.
Yeah, come on.
Right, like
come on with me.
I would like to go with Doug so he'd be able to teach me the ways, right?
Sure.
My wife, there's a terrible story in her family where she made everyone walk like 5 miles to go to some ice cream place that was in a movie. And everyone's like,
that's what happened.
We're not going with you. We're not going with you again. So I'm going to go with Doug so he's going to be able to navigate me around the subway.
Yeah, or just do all the tourist spots like I did. The one I was there for the Big East tournament. But you're right. That's what it is. If you don't have someone to help you know which ways to go and what the quickest ways to go are, you're just going to lose time. Probably.
Well, Erica would have morning meetings for when she worked for the USTA, and then we would meet up like after lunch or whatever, and then we'd have tickets to the tournament out in Queens, right next to Citi Field.
Oh, okay.
That's where the US
literally right there.
The Billie Jean King Center is right on the other side of the 7 from where Citi Field is. So you can go out, you can catch a Mets game, and sometimes there's also the U.S. Open going on at the same time.
Walk right over. So U.S. Open is in August, correct?
Yes,
it's late summer.
Yeah, it's late summer. Around late.
I usually can never go because of the Packer schedules. I always thought about going out there, but it's always been very tough.
I was gonna say you've talked about it for a long time.
Yeah, it's always I think it's August. It's
with the bye, after the last preseason game bye.
You can get out there,
make it for a couple of days.
I don't know. We'll see. I don't know. It's maybe one day. Maybe one day.
I think you're making it.
One day. Yeah,
no doubt about it.
My next, I've targeted LA Olympics though as the next bucket list item. That's definitely got to happen. LA Olympics. I got to be there, right? This is my best chance for an Olympics.
It's probably your best chance to go.
Yeah.
I know I have laughed and mocked the idea of going. However, there's one reason why I could go. My buddy is in legit contention for the Paralympics in 2028.
Oh, now let's go.
So if that's the deal, we're gonna find a way that we're gonna do this radio show from.
I love that
because the Paralympics is like 3 weeks after.
Yes.
Yeah.
So what we could do is tap in for a quick day, then come back in, and then Armin, merch tent, 70% off.
The merch tent.
See, that's what I'm saying. And you see all the same sites. It's just a different game.
I love that. And it's 2028, which means we got 3 years to plan because we need that.
We need plenty of time to plan.
And we'll still have 70 more years to plan Geezer Palooza. So we'll be on there, And Doug,
I love the long range planning. I love it.
Well, radio is one that never changes.
Yeah.
There's not any turnover or anything in this business. So you can really game plan for that.
In 10 years, we'll be right.
Your tongue is firmly in your cheek.
We'll be right here.
Consistency in radio is like the only thing that you can always bank on.
One thing you can bank on. So I have no backup plans in life. I don't need one. You know what I mean? Hey, just forget it.
I've always said when this business is done with me once and for all and they flush me out and I'm never coming back, I'll be at the airport hucking your bags. You already up? You guys up next? All right.
You guys
put your bag up on the scale.
Come on in here.
Where are you guys headed to today? Fort Myers. Fort Myers is beautiful this time of year.
Yes.
We got 44 pounds. Oh, you got it right under the
Good work.
Good work. All right. Put this over there. Ma'am, can I see your ID? All right. Oh, you
Smoking
going to
or
Fort
not
Myers
smoking?
as well? Oh, there's no not. My nanny used to smoke on planes, but Nana also died in '86.
I love these. See, I always
What a
thought
moment.
the airport would be a fun place to work in an alternate life. In addition to my ground
Your alternate life.
kindergarten
Yeah.
teacher, and airport worker.
When you
know?
see me shucking your bags at the airport, just know it's that was always Plan B.
I actually
Yeah.
did encounter the exact Plan B in the
Yeah.
airport. My man Robert, a couple of weeks ago, took the big boy step, and it was my Father's Day gift, was to join TSA PreCheck.
Oh, congratulations!
that's a good
Welcome
thing.
to the club.
Welcome to the
That's
club.
a good
Welcome to
thing
the
to have.
21st century.
It's a good thing.
But my man Robert, he was having a great time. I ended up walked me through the process, chopped it up. We chopped it up for a good 10 minutes after. We were just living life. I'm like, this seems like a good one. He goes, listen, dude, you're the first human being I've talked to in the last hour and a half. So as long as you stand here, I'm going to keep talking. I was like, all right, well, I got to go. But thanks. That was the interaction I needed at the airport.
Yeah, I did the same thing. I think I did when I was out but when Lennon was born for a couple weeks. I remember signing up because I had some free time. And it's great, you go down there, you hang out at the bookstore, you go to the Mitchell Gallery, a flight down there at the airport.
It's kind of phenomenal.
I can hang out at the airport all day.
The only thing that
I'd have mine down at the airport for my alternate life. I'd be the air marshal down there on the ground.
Oh, you'd be great.
There you go.
You'd be phenomenal.
Because you're so tall, you got a big target.
Would be easy enough
Come
to
on
see.
back. Come on back. All right, getting close. And
He's got the orange flashlights.
You call the tower looking for landing. They don't even give you the runway numbers. They just say, look for Dave. Look for Dave.
Yeah.
Check it out.
You'll know.
Yeah.
You'll see Dave. You'll see him.
I always said that I'd work for Southwest because the bags were free. Well, that's not true anymore.
Not anymore,
So maybe it's Delta. I don't know what the airline
And
is
now you
going to
can't
be.
pick
But
your own seat anymore either.
no, you can't do anything. All of a sudden, Southwest is just another airline.
My little guy found a lot of enjoyment in watching planes take off. We found that on YouTube.
I've done that.
Oh yeah,
I've done
I've
that.
been there.
Armin's very surprised. You know what his favorite plane was? The Spirit one.
Oh, yeah, because it's bright yellow.
Bright yellow. He's like, this is awesome.
That's pretty cool.
Dad, let's watch the yellow one again.
The taxi cab in the sky, man. That's
Get
what
this
it is.
Delta out of here.
Yeah.
Well, who cares about a United one? I want to see the yellow one. Like, buddy, you'll fly Spirit one time. Trust me. Dad works in radio.
If I go work for Delta, then airfare is free. There's
The
method
wheels are
behind the
turning,
madness
Dougie.
here.
Yeah, the wheels are turning. And listen, if you hit a couple of parlays of the day, you
Let's go.
you grab one of those Sky Mile. What is that? Mileage venture deals.
Yeah.
I want to be in one of those suites.
Oh,
like the Sapphire
lounge,
Club?
the
Oh,
lounge,
yeah.
Just
the
one
lounge.
time.
The Sapphire
Just
Club
one,
is nice.
One
Sky
time I
Lounge.
want to get into the Sky Lounge.
Yeah,
Oh, I thought you meant like some of those real big international planes have their own little rooms.
like the 747s
Like
and
the,
the
wide
first
body
class.
Airbuses, Billy.
See, I'm trying to.
You want to go to the
vacation.
lounge. You want to go to the lounge.
Yeah, I want to be in the club.
You want to just
I
go
want to be
and-
like 50 Cent. I'm in the club.
go hang out and bet on flights like Kramer did in that episode. See, another Seinfeld reference.
I should be watching.
Yeah.
Dougie, before we make a bet on the parlay of the day at the Potawatomi Sportsbook, and Bob Nightingale stops by in about 8 minutes from right now, parade or fireworks on the 4th of July for you?
Oh, fireworks.
Thank you.
I hate
Thank
parades.
you.
Cool.
Sorry.
I knew
I'm
Doug
gonna
was smart. Come on, somebody had to be the smart guy in here.
I'm going to continue with the unpopular decision. I'm going parade every day.
So here's why I pick fireworks over parade. It's at night.
You have
Weather's
a
little,
brain.
it's a little bit
Sorry,
cooler.
that's rude.
It's a little bit cool. You never know what you're getting. I mean, the parade is almost the same thing every time.
I
Thank you.
think it's the opposite.
Yeah.
I think it's the opposite.
He argued that there was more variance in a parade
Man.
than in a fireworks show.
Oh, you're going to see a band from the local high school.
Someone in an old Corvette.
You're going to see some media schlub like me.
Yes. Yep.
Stephanie goes to a lot of those too.
Yeah. What are you seeing in a fireworks? You're seeing the red, the blue one,
Yeah.
the one that looks like
The
you
different
know,
combination
the
together.
whirlies, the
Yeah.
poppers, like
The big booms.
the little static ones. I'm sorry, there isn't much variance.
Sometimes there's like maybe a little nip in the air. So you bring a
Yeah.
blanket, sit on the
Yeah.
ground.
Smiley face ones.
Thank you,
Those
Doug.
are
You can't do any of that during a parade.
Those are all
You're not going to
different.
get sunburned.
Those are all different
Thank you.
activities. Besides, that's true. They're at night, but you might
Yeah,
get
that's what I
ash,
mean.
ash in your face.
No.
You know,
That-
How close are you sitting?
Well,
You sit
if you're
close,
really
look at
close,
you. And if the wind's
listen.
blowing right, it's in my face.
Those
The
are
ash.
what we call champagne problems. If you're that close that you're getting ash on you,
Not really. I mean, I was there at Conkle Park, and all of a sudden,
I was
all
low
it
carb
was
when I was a kid.
cardboard is all. We want to get closer to the fireworks. Great. I might get burned today. You know, it's like
You can come over to the house if you want, because when the fireworks go off, we can see them from our back deck. You can see like 5 of them going off. at
Nothing
the
will,
same time.
nothing will blow in your face.
you already
Same
said-
at my place, Armin. If you want to hop on by.
Well, I don't have
Yeah.
your height. I can't see every.
No, like we got our backyard.
Yeah.
Like we'll see the New Berlin
Perfect
fireworks
sound.
right from there.
I like
Yeah,
that.
let's do
See?
that.
I thought the Hills Corners fireworks were the only ones I had to see.
They are.
You should probably also, yeah.
You should.
I got
see the
Waukesha. I got Pewaukee. I've got another one.
Well,
I've got
all the same, and they're all the same, right?
No, they're all different.
They're all different.
You're wrong on this one. I will.
So I have an opinion. I don't know
if Armin wants to go to the parade, let Armin go to the parade. How about that?
Hey, it's a better spot for us at the fireworks.
That's
show.
what I'm saying.
Yeah,
I might see the Shriners. I might see the dancing.
You're definitely going to see the Shriners.
Definitely seeing the Shriners. Yes.
Yep.
You're definitely seeing the dancing grannies.
Yeah, why not?
The dancing grannies. All respect to the dancing grannies.
Yes.
Might have some tumblers or something fun going on. Come on now.
I don't really know that you're getting the guys with stilts over here at
those guys are legit.
We should. You know what we should do? We should get Armin in a parade. What parade do you want to be in?
I mean, I gotta
You're
say
in the
Greenfield.
media.
In anyone.
My mom's already usually in the
One.
Greenfield parade, so I gotta say Greenfield.
Mom's in the Greenfield parade.
Yeah, she's
Oh
an
man,
alderman,
we
so I
need
walk
to have him.
right
We need to have him in the back of one of those Corvettes and just says 2001 Greenfield Prom King.
Yes.
Yeah.
With the crown, just giving the wave.
You still have the crown?
Probably the 2001.
Of course you do.
The problem is I don't have the Sebring anymore. I don't have
You
it.
can get one. Come on, there are car dealerships out there.
The cleanest. Yeah, Doug, I have the crown.
My mom's got it. I don't have it. My mom's got it.
Had the crown.
It's at my parents' house.
It's
Listen,
still
he spent like
it's in a glass case, but
Listen.
yes, I have it.
Yes, I have it. Come
I
on.
only
Listen,
I
it's-
only put it on once or twice a year.
Yeah, polish it every
only
week.
put it on and make Laura call me king. Like it's really only a 1 or 2 kind of thing. God, that is awesome.
Listen,
stuff.
they spent like $50 on that from Bartz's 20 years ago. All right. The Greenfield Student Council probably spent all their money on Bartz's. We gotta get the props for the king and the queen. Bartz's party
How nice
store.
was
way
the
more
tiara
because
for
they
the
knew it was
queen.
your crown. They wanted to make
Well, they
sure
probably
they did
did.
something
Right,
special
we're
for
like,
Once
it.
they saw the
honest
votes,
with
they didn't even need to
Yeah.
see the votes. It's
It
like,
was-
wow.
Yeah, then they're like, we're gonna drop this
was
down to
like-
$30 for the crown.
It was one. It was
Like
definitely
acclamation. They didn't even need to count the votes.
Definitely
Yeah, it's
one of
Armin.
those where everyone was like,
Ryan.
Armin? Really? Oh, that's cool. That was definitely one of those. Everyone was like, Armin? Really? Like, surprised,
Why were they surprised? They voted.
Yeah, they voted for you.
That's what I can't. I said somebody must have voted for me. You guys were all shocked about it. It was the most shocking thing that ever happened to me. When I got voted, but I'm telling you, I was so surprised.
That's why he needs to be
Wow,
on the
a
parade.
bigger
That's
election
it.
night upset than we've ever seen in this country.
That was definitely.
seen some.
Listen,
We've seen some.
Yeah.
Yes,
That
we've
was
seen
up
some,
there.
no doubt about it. You won the. You know what? I heard you won the popular and the electoral, so there was no debating it.
Yeah, definitely.
Armin was
Was man of the
unequivocally
people.
I had a
He
mandate. And I ruled really. I think I ruled with a very. I was a.
Did you have a big,
benevolent
beautiful
Were you a
plan?
benevolent
I
dictator?
was a benevolent dictator. I had a great kingdom for 1 year. They liked me.
Not
a
like
lot.
King Charles I, who got his head lopped off.
Yeah. No,
Great,
not like him.
great historical reference. Listen to Doug.
That's
You
phenomenal.
Put this man at the airport. He's got the history of knowledge. You can't put him in.
You got to have a little patter when you're, checking bags and
Yeah, you
sending
got to be
people
able
on
to
their
throw
way.
in and get a little spice
because
in
this
there.
is it. You got to try and get tips.
Listen, when you're headed to Temecula, I mean, it's a beautiful wine country down in Southern California. So I hope you have a nice, safe flight into San Diego.
Checking the thing
Maybe
out.
join us again.
Please,
Please
absolutely.
join us again.
Have a safe
You can-
flight.
Somebody's got to acclimate the quick trip. See you next time at the airport.
Yeah.
See you next
Yeah.
time.
See you next
That'd
time.
be the drop.
Have a safe flight.
I got an invitation to be in the
I'll marshal
Watertown
them
parade.
There we go. Hey, yeah.
With
All right.
the baseball team. Yeah,
we're
that's
getting
pretty
you
cool.
in. We're getting Armin in a parade. It's going to happen.
I don't know if this is the year, but one of these, I'll do it. I mean,
Well, don't back out now.
I'm not backing out now. I'm
You
just trying to figure out-
just said, yeah, maybe
it's
not
5
this year.
days. Well, 4th of July is like 5 days away. I don't know what our
Right.
plans are. We might have plans and stuff.
Bring them
like
with
that.
you.
Bring them with you. You don't think your beautiful, lovely daughter and wife want to see you in a parade? Want to see daddy walk across in a parade?
I'm not
They
sure. I'm not sure.
You
Maybe.
accept that invitation. We're going to take a quick time out because we got Bob Nightingale coming up on the other side. Dougie, always appreciate it. And as we just said, see you next time. See you tomorrow at 10.
All right, we'll see you. Have a safe flight.
Safe flight. That is Doug Russell hanging out with us here at the news desk. Bob Nightingale of USA Today put together a piece yesterday on the Milwaukee Brewers just saying, wait, how do they keep doing this? How do they keep doing this? Well, the secrets might be in, as he said, the keg. Talked to a lot of Milwaukee Brewer alumni who are coming back for a 25th anniversary of Miller Park and American Family Field and said, how do the Brewers keep competing like this? Well, he'll tell us on the other side. It's No BS statewide on the game.
And she's taking a drag. Now they're going to bed. And my stomach is sick. And it's all in my head. But she's touching.
And I just won $1,000.
Now's your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website. Pay. That's pay. Enter it now. Take that money now at 973thegame.com.
If you or a loved one needs a personal injury attorney, ask around. Lawyers, judges, law enforcement officers, insurance adjusters, refer Warshevsky because we achieve maximum judgments and settlements. Their ordeal, their injury is about the money. Warshevsky.com.
Our iHeartRadio Music Festival, presented by Capital One, is back in Vegas.
T-Mobile Arena.
September 19th and 20th, streaming live only on Hulu. 15 artists, 2 nights, 1 stage. Get tickets now at AXS.com.
Get your laundry Vegas ready with Arm & Hammer Power Sheets. Just toss in a detergent sheet. No drips, no plastic jugs, no mess. Arm & Hammer is a proud sponsor of the iHeartRadio Music Festival. Clean up before you turn up. Shop Arm & Hammer Power Sheets now.
Is that knee, hip, or shoulder pain not getting any better? Are you stuck in an endless cycle of steroid shots and now they're even talking about surgery? Before you go down that road, hit the pause button. Hey, it's Billy Schmidt. I want to tell you about something that helped a lot of people get their lives back without more medications or without going under the knife. It's QC Kinetics. The leaders in regenerative medicine using treatments like advanced cellular therapy are here to help your body heal itself. No more masking the pain. This goes right to the root of the problem. Their cellular treatments contain growth factors and healing properties to maximize your own body's ability to heal itself. 92% of patients report satisfaction with their results. That's not just a number. It's peace of mind that you're exploring something that's truly working for people just like you. Real results that let you move easier and live better. Listen, it doesn't cost anything to get a second opinion. Learn more about something that could give you life-changing results. Call QC Kinetics today at 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. QC Kinetics, 414-285-3474.
I'm criminal defense attorney Tom Grieve with Grieve Law. Think a drunk driving is just a ticket? Think again. It's easy to think you don't need a criminal defense attorney because you aren't a criminal, but in the eyes of the law, you are. At Grieve Law, we don't think one mistake should ruin your life or define your future. You are only guilty if you are convicted. You might be facing serious consequences, but with Grieve Law in your corner, you are not facing them alone. Contact Grieve Law for your OWI defense. GrieveLaw.com.
Hey, it's Armin, and I have to tell you, I could not be happier with our new 97.3 The Game broadcast studio built by Reamer Remodel. It's been a game changer, all thanks to the Reamer Remodel team. RIEMER Remodel.com.
This June, it's your chance to name your price on any furnace or air conditioner at Thielman Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. That's right. Name your price and no reasonable offer will be rejected. Must be installed in June. Get exceptional equipment and expert installation from Thielman Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Don't wait. Name your price and call Thielman Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing today. Call 262-240-4085. That's 262-240-4085.
Drew Olson from 97.3 The Game for Pep's Pizza. Summer is the greatest thing since sliced pizza, and you deserve both with Pep's Draft House and the Summer of Pizza. We often pack a lot into a summer day, but don't go hungry. Head to your cool frozen pizza aisle and check out one of Pep's 15 different varieties. It's summer. Eat pizza.
Do your summer plans include travel? Make sure your prep includes more than just flights and hotels. Stay up to date with COVID-19 vaccination, especially if you're 65 or older or have certain health conditions. There have been surges in COVID-19 in the summer, too. It's important to help protect yourself no matter your destination. So check eligibility and schedule in minutes at VaxAssist.com. That's VAXAssist.com. Brought to you by Pfizer.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Well, Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can get a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. It all starts with an online intake form. Get started at Hims.com/joy, and from there, a medical provider licensed in your state will determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs with options up to 95% less than the brand names. Millions of men experience ED, but Hims can help. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to Hims.com/joy. That's Hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
iHeartRadio's got you covered for the summer. Hit play on the perfect summer playlist like Summer Classics. Road tripping with commercial-free weekends on Smells Like the 90s. Or zone out in the shade with a good podcast. Your summer soundtrack is already in your pocket with the free iHeartRadio app. Find your next summer preset now.
iHeartRadio. Make 97.3 The Game your number one preset on our free iHeartRadio app. Powered by Gruber Law.
One call, that's all.
Injured?
Remember, one call, that's all.
And we had a keg in the closet, pizza on the floor, left over from the night before. Where we were going, we didn't really care. We had all we ever wanted in that keg in the closet.
No BS on the game. Billy Schmidt, Armin Sarian, statewide with you, talking some Brewers baseball. We'll get a parlay of the day at the Potawatomi Sportsbook coming up in a few minutes from right now. But joining us on the NicoletLaw.com talk and text line, you've been reading his stuff for years. He's one of the best baseball writers of all time. His name is Bob Nightingale, and he joins us now on the NicoletLaw.com talk and text line. Bob, really appreciate the time here today and really appreciate the piece that you were penned earlier on this weekend discussing the Milwaukee Brewers. And the question that I think a lot of people have, and I wanted to start out here, how many times do you have people around baseball ask the question you did in the headline for the Milwaukee Brewers? How do they keep doing this? Because, Bob, even here locally, we watch it year in and year out. We've been wondering how they're able to compete while in reality really completely flipping the roster over, which is somewhat of an oddity in pro baseball.
It really is. I know they got some, a great scouting system, developed people, and they got, some hidden secrets. They say they keep them in a proprietary thing called a keg, and they do it right. They identify the right people, they draft the right guys, and they develop. I mean, when these young guys come up, they're ready to play and make an impact immediately, which usually is never heard of in baseball.
Yeah, Bob, and they seem to be able to do a great job doing it in a lot of ways, a small market miracle in modern baseball. And I think an example of process. Now, when you talk about process and results, there are still fans, even in Milwaukee, that are frustrated with the lack of postseason success. And that's obviously going to be there. The ultimate dream for any fan is to win the World Series. And when you have consistent winner kind of outdoing your budget, outdoing your market, in this sense, there's a success level there. But there's also always going to be that frustration for fans that are going to say, yeah, but what about the World Series? What would you say to fans like that in that situation?
Well, at least, with the Brewers, they don't have any, rebuilding system. Mm-hmm. They don't, tank. They don't do, hey, we look at it, hey, the Cubs tanked for years and then, got that World Series, so did the Houston Astros, so the Baltimore Orioles. And they refuse to do that. And they say, you know what? We're just going to keep going at it year after year and kind of take our chances in the postseason. There were a couple of times where you thought, okay, this team could get to a World Series. Last year, who knows? The one pitch at ending, pretty much ending their season against the Mets. Who knows what could have happened later on. So same thing here is that they got the young pitching and some dominant guys too, where they can make noise and they can make noise in the postseason. There's just a outside the Dodgers, and Dodgers are, beat up here. We saw the Mets, lose 13 of last 16 games. Philly's erratic. Atlanta's struggling. So, once again, it gives them a chance to do something, just get into the playoffs, which they seem to do year after year.
Yeah, and Bob, that's a tough part because people have gotten a little bit frustrated with the bites at the apple theory is what we call it here. And what you just mentioned, you get in and the ball bounces your way a couple of times. You don't know where you can find yourself. And sometimes hope might not be a plan, but it's strategic planning for the Brewers to keep themselves around and in contention, and potentially you strike lightning in a bottle with one of those years earlier on this off season and in spring training. You were down covering the Brewers and one story and a quote from the owner got a lot of headlines of, am I in here to win championships or provide a summer of entertainment and passion? And there's clearly a very passionate fan base. The passionate fan base got very frustrated with that statement of like, no, we're supposed to be winning. However, when you trim payroll like they did, Pat Murphy mentioned it, like, did we spend money? No. Did everybody else spend money? Yeah. It can be difficult to believe that you're contending, but isn't it difficult to analyze that, like, you have to be frugal, you have to be somewhat frustratingly patient with a small market team in the smallest market the league has, where there's only a couple of ways the Brewers can do this, and theirs might be different than every other organization in sport, but they kind of are forced to play this way.
Yeah, maybe changes with the next CBA. Maybe there is some kind of, limit or mechanism to kind of reel everybody in to give everybody more of a equal chance. What the Brewers do though is they win each summer to give them a chance. I think what Mark Antanasio was alluding to was, remember when the Miami Marlins, won 2 World Series in a matter of 4 years, and stunk in between those years, and they've kind of stunk ever since. Where a team like Atlanta won every single year. They won 14 consecutive division titles, but they only won 1 World Series. But they're at least giving themselves a chance to do something special. I think that's what Athanasios really mentioned, was that, hey, we want to be there. We want to have an entertaining product, a good product, not just win 1 World Series and say, okay, we'll see you again in 30 years.
Yeah, and I saw both ends of it. I think the important thing was there was a lot of nuance there to take from what he said, but how things go, and the quote kind of jumps off. Where you did you sense the reaction that it got? Did you get a sense of the reaction that it got, because it was a big source of discussion here in Milwaukee? And were you surprised that it did, or were you kind of expecting that what he said to engender that type of reaction and controversy?
Yeah, no, very surprised. And I think it is probably should have followed up by saying he doesn't want to win 1 World Series and say, hey, I did my job, see you guys later, and we're we're going to stink and rebuild. Like I said what the Marlins have done, and we've seen it where a team wins and then they don't do anything for a long time. I think what he was saying was, hey, you want to have a consistent winner, with a chance to win a World Series, or you want to go all in 1 year. And if it doesn't work, well, we lost so much money, and we're not going to be back in contention for a long time. We'll see what happens with a team like the San Diego Padres. We spent a ton of money a few years ago. Lost a lot of money,
right?
And they still haven't won a World Series either. And they haven't even got to a World Series despite having a payroll that was like 3rd or 4th in all of baseball.
Bob Nightingale joining us here, USA Today, all phenomenal, being really just understanding as to what the entire conversation was. Because we had, Bob, I got to thank you for it, because we did hours of content on that quote. We did hours of content on those conversations, because it engendered a very visceral reaction, and some were making the same statement like you of, hey, we want to be able to hold on to a potential Jacob Mizorowski, a Quinn Priester, whenever you go and acquire him for a number of years and then figure it out after that. They have been able to recycle some young players, especially in the pitching. What did you notice in your studying up on how the Brewers have done this over their hot run of June, best team in baseball since May 25th, that the young core that they're doing this with, a couple of position players as well as the young pitching, they really seemingly have replenished that system, which was a strength over the last 5 or 6 years.
Yeah, you look at the way they develop pitching compared to pretty much, just about any team in baseball. There's teams like the Dodgers that crank them out, but then they're always hurt. The Cubs have hardly developed any pitching in the last 20 years. So that's what their bread and butter, and they just do a phenomenal job, on that. And usually you see a kid come up, he's okay, he struggles, and they send him back down, and then he's kind of up and down a lot. Where it seems like with the Brewers, they bring a guy up and say, you know what, you're staying up. You know, we're not going to bring you up until you're ready. And I think too, you know, guys really like playing for Pat Murphy, kind of that whole college atmosphere, and he gets it done, and he holds guys accountable too. I mean, he's not afraid to criticize players or bench players or pull them out of games if they're not, you know, performing like they should or not, you know, acting like a major league player.
Yeah, it's amazing sometimes how things work out. There was a lot of frustration here and upset fans when Craig Counsell left for the Cubs. But it seems like sometimes things work out in a certain way you don't expect. And it seems like Pat Murphy's the right guy for the right group of players here. And, you know, obviously it's worked. He won Manager of the Year last year. Specifically his impact, what do you think it's had on this team and the results they've had?
Yeah, you can tell they're just guys who really enjoy playing for him. That's the big thing. That's why, you know, a guy like Dusty Baker's going to the Hall of Fame. You know, he's always got the most out of his players. They really enjoy playing for him. You know, Terry Francona will be going to the Hall of Fame one day. Bruce Bochy, obviously, he's got the 4 World Series. But yeah, it just you know, a big thing is the managers and make sure they do, you know, players do things right and conduct themselves right in that clubhouse. And, you know, if you don't, you're going to pay the consequences. And I think it's almost like, you know, like I said, like that college coach mentality. Like, hey, you know, I'm your guy here, follow what I say, and you'll have great results. And that's what's happening.
Yeah, and Bob, it's fascinating how different the game can go and how much it evolves. Murph's, one of his favorite things to say is it's about the people. And it feels like while the game continues to go very, very analytically driven and simply based on numbers and data, he's like, yeah, I appreciate all that information. I'll read into it and I'll study it. However, I'm going to make my own decision. And that kind of bucks the trend a little bit in all of baseball. Although the other part of your story, which is phenomenal, and Brewers fans are going to really appreciate the amount of Brewers alumni that are coming back for this home run derby at American Family Field. Now, we got a lot of excitement on it. Some action inside on the radio show that we're going to have some in-show wagers potentially, Bob. I'm not going to ask you to lay out who's going to be the favorite. However, just from reading this in all of your conversations with a Carlos Gomez, a Prince Fielder, Ryan Braun, Eric Thames, these guys are playing for keeps in this home run derby. It doesn't sound like everybody's going to go shake hands, kiss babies, and smile. Everyone's coming here to win this thing.
Oh, absolutely. I think I said to Ryan Braun or something, hey, you guys going to use aluminum bats? And they said, no, these are real stuff. And everybody has so much pride. Right. And I think everybody's thinking, okay, because Prince Fielder's in there. You know, obviously when he played, he had the great power. He just won the home run derby in the East West Classic a couple of weeks ago. And a lot of these guys haven't picked up a bat in 3 years. But yeah, guys like, you know, Eric Thames is saying, you know what, I'm getting myself in shape right now. I want to do something.
Oh yeah.
So I think, you know, Fielder's obviously the overwhelming favorite, but it's a testament to the organization that these guys all want to come back and do that. You know, they all have lives to live and they're enjoying their summer. And then, you know, everybody said, yes, I'll be there in a heartbeat.
Yeah, I get the sense that it's not always easy for, like, I wonder how unique it is that the Brewers franchise is able to do this and bring these guys back. And you touch on that a lot in your article, and you noted that the unique kind of visceral feeling that the players have with the Brewers organization, that was part of the reason that the Brewers were able to put something like this together, is that these players truly wanted to come back and celebrate the organization and celebrate their time, and they were truly looking forward to it. Not that it was just a requirement that they had to be at it. Do you sense that there really is that difference? Would it be tougher for some other organizations to do something like this if there was not that same type of feeling for the organization?
Yeah, I mean, look at all the years where the Mets never had a an alumni game or old timers type of game. The Yankees stopped doing that, and I think they did like I think they're going to do a softball game this summer. But you know, they couldn't get anybody to suit up and play. They would just show up and be introduced. So no, I think it's very hard to do. And like I said, everybody's with their families now. They're retired.
Yeah,
some have jobs. And they, big thing is they can't wait to come back and not only see each other, but the fans. It's like everybody I talk to, they go on and on about just what the Milwaukee community means to them. Like nobody had a bad experience, and that's tough to do.
That is just beautiful to hear. And I'll be honest with you, Giovanni Gallardo's who my long shot money is on. Bob.
He could
very excited to see Yo. He's going to be trying to take some balls out of the park. And Niger Morgan said I might get a big league contract after this. Like they might need me to play center field, which is phenomenal.
And the great thing about Niger is he always had that kind of mindset where part of him truly believes that, I think. You know what I mean? He always
he ain't just saying it.
He's not just saying it. He truly believes it. So it should be fun.
But
yeah, no, those guys are fired up. But they couldn't talk enough about what the fans meant to them. It's just, special place to play.
It really is, and it's a ton of fun, and it's going to be so much fun coming up July 25th. Bob, really appreciate the time, man. Thank you for your time. You got a lot of other things that you could be doing, enjoying your summer. We appreciate you stopping by, hanging out with us on No BS today.
Sure, my pleasure. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
That is Bob Nightingale, one of the best in the business, has been for a long time. USA Today, follow all of his writings. B Nightingale on social media, and read the piece right now, because if you're a Brewers fan, like he just mentioned, it will engender a real confidence about Brewers fans, because
great point.
Many people, and Carlos Gomez, Tony Plush, Ryan Braun mentioned it in the piece. Like the reason they're coming back is because of the fans.
I think there's something to be proud of.
Eric
about
Thames talked about. He's like, it's the best place to play, bar none. And he's been around the world playing baseball.
There's
that's a cool part of it.
A lot to be proud of about that. And I think that was the other side of the Attanasio quote that we didn't think about enough. Is he's saying this for a reason, that the Brewers fans do appreciate coming on, supporting a team, win or lose. They do appreciate coming together in the summer and creating memories. That's not a bad thing. That doesn't mean you don't want to also win. It means you just are. There's an exceptionalism amongst Brewers fans. Thought about it when we had the Mizorowski-Skeens matchup. How many fan bases are really going to sell out their park for, albeit a great matchup, but on a Wednesday afternoon? I don't think it's something you can take for granted. It's a great look for Brewers fans. It's a reminder that we still are special as a fan base.
Bob put it in the piece. They had a sellout crowd of 42,000 plus, biggest crowd since July 3rd of 2023 on a Wednesday afternoon against the Pirates. They sold more than 10,000 seats in just 27 hours after announcing the pitching matchup between Paul Skeens and Brewers rookie sensation Jacob Mizorowski.
It's in our DNA, gathering place by the waters.
There's a
unique
like to gather. Relationship.
Yes, we like to gather. We like to support and have that moment with the team. Definitely as a fan base.
Couldn't agree more. We're going to have a moment at the Potawatomi Sportsbook coming up in a few moments from right now and fire in a parlay of the day at the Potawatomi Sportsbook. But first, VIP access and exclusive to our listeners on the game now through July 4th. Check out happyplacehemp.com. Instead of normal Billy 25, grab yourself Game 30 as the promo code and an exclusive 30% off from until July 4th. happyplacehemp.com. Hooking it up. Celebrating America the right way. Game 30 at checkout from THC, CBD, seltzers, gummies, pet treats. They've got something for everyone. Head to happyplacehemp.com or in-store in Muskego. Code Game 30 now through July 4th. Parlay of the day comes up next in our closing ceremonies on No BS.
Beer out of a mason jar and he climb up on everyone in bed.
To every contractor, delay is a dirty word. Avoid using those what the moments with blazing fast, reliable solutions from Packer Fastener. Need job site delivery? Relax, they're already on the way. Prefab needs? They'll cut it, kit, assemble, and drop them where you want them. Inventory help? Get stocked, locked, and always there with job boxes, Connex boxes, vending, or vendor management. Order threaded, rod, strut, hangers, and more. No shortages, no delays, no excuses. PackerFastener.com. It's how gets done.
Coming up Monday, the Mike Heller Show goes noon to 3 on the game. Matt LePay always joins us on Monday. We look back at the Brewers and Rockies over the weekend and a road trip that starts in New York and the other news of the day. Monday, the Mike Heller Show, noon to 3 on the game.
Right now is the best time ever to buy a vehicle, and the Russ Darrow Group is leading the way with the lowest cost of vehicle ownership in history. Driving your dream car has never been more affordable. And here's the best part. They've got tons of pre-tariff vehicles in stock. That means you save big before incoming price hikes hit the market. Whether you're after performance, reliability, or something perfect for the family, they've got you covered at Russ Darrow with top brands like Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, Mitsubishi, Honda, Mazda, Toyota, and Kia, plus a huge selection of certified pre-owned vehicles from every brand you love. Don't wait for prices to rise. Get the best value and selection before they're gone. Drive today, save tomorrow. Visit russdarrow.com.
ZipRecruiter is the place. ZipRecruiter is the place for talented teachers, savvy software developers, and master mixologists. ZipRecruiter is the place where you meet all these people and more. That's because ZipRecruiter is the place for job seekers who are looking for new opportunities. In fact, ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day, so you can find the right candidates right away. It's no wonder that ZipRecruiter is the place for skilled skydiving instructors, accomplished airbrush artists, and proficient pediatricians. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter to hire, you're missing out. ZipRecruiter is the place that's so confident it can make your hiring easier that it lets you try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. So if you want the right candidates for all your roles, ZipRecruiter is the place to go. Try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
KB, is this the mother of all offers from Iron Jock?
You've got my attention.
Now through July 13th, when you buy $100 or more, your entire order will automatically be marked down 40%. Can't do $100 right now? No worries. Buy $50 or more and you'll save 30%.
Over $100, 40%, over 50, 30%. Got it.
There's no promo code. Just hit the threshold and the savings are automatic.
Go to ironjock.com. That's ironjoc.com.
Now through July 13th.
Still getting around to that fix on your car? You got this. On eBay, you'll find millions of parts guaranteed to fit. Doesn't matter if it's a major engine repair or your first time swapping your windshield wipers. eBay has that part you need, ready to click perfectly into place for changes big and small. Loud or quiet, find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. But you already know that. eBay. Things, people, love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Find what you love and love what you find. A Total Wine and More, the place to go for sipping rosés with seltzers on ice, making margaritas with your favorite tequilas. It's warm out, let's go. Our prices are low on spirits, beer, and wine. You're gonna find what you love and love what you find.
Only at Total Wine and More. Drink responsibly. B21.
Lowe's knows how to set off your July 4th with savings. Right now, buy one, get one free on select one-coat coverage interior paint via Visa gift card rebate. Plus, get two select 2 or 2.5 quart red, white, and blue annuals for just $10. Hurry, these July 4th deals won't last long. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid through 7/9. Selection varies by location. While supplies last, excludes Alaska and Hawaii. More terms and restrictions apply. See Lowe's.com/rebates for more details.
The Fox 6 weather experts are presented by AdventKnows.com.
Showers and thunderstorms return this afternoon. Should see a high near 86 and still a little sticky with the higher dew points today. Overnight tonight, we clear out, drop into the mid-60s, and from there back into the low to mid-80s for tomorrow with lots of sunshine. I'm Fox 6 Chief Meteorologist Rob Haswell.
This report is sponsored by Rapid Radios.
Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage and no subscription ever. A great alternative to a mobile phone for your kids. For a limited time, go to rapidradios.com and you'll get 60% off. Free UPS shipping. Add code radio and get an extra 5% off.
Alzheimer's disease is the 6th leading cause of death in the country, and it's affecting almost 7 million Americans, including 110,000 people here in Wisconsin. UW-Madison is working hard to improve the lives of those affected, offering resources to educate and the latest in research and technology. The UW Initiative to End Alzheimer's has so many ways you can benefit, learn, get involved, and make a difference. Visit goalsforacure.org. That's goalsforacure.org.
Time now for Billy's Parlay of the Day, brought to you by Potawatomi Sportsbook. Bet above the rest.
No BS is heading up to the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Bet big, bet bold, bet above the rest. And we got to get this bet in quick because we had way too much fun hanging out with our friend Bob Nightingale, as well as talking some parade and fireworks, which is still not done.
No, we'll get to
still
that.
not done. We're going to get into some of that with the crossover because
coming up.
Yeah. Well, let's also discuss it in the crossover because
sure.
Nick Brusewitz hasn't been to a wedding, never been to Summerfest. I don't know if he's ever been to a parade or a fireworks show. So we're going to have to bring that up coming up in about 15 minutes when we hand it off to the Mike Keller Show. But first, bet big, bet bold, bet above the rest. Potawatomi Sportsbook is the place to be able to do that. Invest like nobody's business and have a great time. Winning either straight bets, parlays, round robin bets are another one, and or futures tickets. Armin, plus 275 over there for the futures ticket for the Green Bay Packers to win the NFC North.
I like that.
We're going to talk about one guy that believes they're going to win the NFC North coming up tomorrow. And one guy on top of me that thinks that they're going to win the NFC North coming up tomorrow.
And I have some other futures I'm going to get to in a second when you're done.
Oh, you got a big futures play right here?
I might, but I don't want to. I don't want to like take you off.
Slow your roll here real quick.
Yeah.
How about the St. Louis Cardinals slowing their roll?
Okay.
Little sick and tired of the St. Louis Cardinals winning baseball games, including this weekend where they swept the Cleveland Guardians right out of the own Cleveland ballpark. Progressive Field was the spot where the Redbirds were getting fat over the weekend. 5-0, 7-0, and a 9-6 victory. You know who else got fat this weekend? The Pittsburgh Pirates.
Let's go. What a weekend for them. That's what makes baseball crazy.
So much so that the Pittsburgh Pirates are even money against the St. Louis Cardinals today at PNC Park. Now, the value shopping police would say, what the heck are you doing taking Andrew Heaney and the Pittsburgh Pirates over Eric Fetty and the St. Louis Cardinals?
Right.
And I'm just not doing it.
Oh, okay.
I'm just not doing it. I'm sorry. I want the Cardinals to lose, right? Like, you want more losses for the Cardinals who sit a half game back of the Brewers. I'd love to be able to go with the home team here at minus 107, but I'm putting 109 in, putting the Cardinals in the parlay of the day here today. Petty figures it out, gets the Cardinals a W, and first leg of the parlay of the day in the checkbox variety. Late night part of the parlay is already locked in. Giants over the Arizona Diamondbacks at minus 136 on the money line here today, Armin, because Logan Webb, 2.52 earned run average, 7-5 so far in his decisions. However, he just pitches deep into ball games.
Yeah.
7 innings, 8 innings. Now, got some tough luck once he exited the ball game against the Miami Marlins last game. He was in line for the victory, and then the bullpen sent it down their leg, and the Chicago White Sox or the Miami Marlins got a win over the Giants. Giants coming off a loss to the White Sox. Angry, frustrated ball club goes into Arizona, gets a win as a minus 136 favorite. Now, this is where it gets dicey. This is where it gets interesting. Are we really taking this? Are we really buying into this Chase Burns hype?
He's
Dave?
good, man. He's real
Dave's
good.
buying, Dave bought in.
Are we buying into this Chase Burns hype?
I'm buying into the Chase Burns hype.
Will there be a correction?
Going up against Garrett Crochet and the Boston Red Sox here today. The Cincinnati Reds. Again, teams in the NL Central are kind of riding heaters right now. They've won 5 of their last 7.
Yeah.
They go to Fenway Park. Armin Sarian's favorite place in the whole wide world, Boston.
Never saw a game there.
Give me the Cincinnati Reds minus or plus 150.
All right, let's go get it.
In the parlay of the day and make this thing a round plus 730.
Yeah.
Parlay of the day here today. Bet big, bet bold, bet above the rest.
I did go on a tour there when I was like, I don't know, younger, but like teenager, maybe young 20s. And the tour guy was getting annoyed with me for sure.
Because you were asking way too many questions?
I was answering all of his easy little trivia questions. And anybody know Ted Williams' nicknames?
Little trivia questions. Buddy, you're going to have to try harder.
All right,
to stump me.
let's get a banger of a win today, Billy. And is that it? Is that the full parlay, or do we have one more?
We're going 3 legs. Do you want to go 4 legs?
No, that's 3 is fine.
Change it up here today for the first time ever.
Well, I just wanted to make everyone know and talk about futures.
Reds, Cardinals, Giants,
okay.
plus 730 parlay of the day at the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Bet big, bet bold, bet above the rest. Hit Potawatomi.com/sportsbook. Hit the bet builder and just have that QR code ready by the time you get to the sportsbook.
And good news for bettors at Potawatomi Sportsbook. If you've got your eye on the prize Friday, the lines are up for the Nathan's Hot Dog Eating Contest.
Whoa.
Let's go. The lines are up for the futures for the winners. You can get Joey Chestnut minus 2,000, Jeffrey Esper plus 1,400. However, the specials are up. You can get the over-under on Chestnut hot dogs eaten, James Webb, Jeffrey Esper, Nick Wary, and some of these other guys I've never heard of. So how about that? There you go. You can get your bets in now for the Nathan's Hot Dog Eating Contest. A lot of specials always available at the Potawatomi Sportsbook betting menu. Obviously, TV and novelty always there for the award show. So it's a lot of fun for everybody.
So he's over under 71.5 hot dogs.
And I'm looking at the game log. There's a lot of questions. I want to know, like, what's his training regimen going to be? Is he going to be doing the National Burrito Day competition?
So he was out of the Nathan's hot dog eating contest last year? Wasn't this because of the endorsement deal that he signed with another competitive eating tour?
He was banned because
or a different dog
with like
company.
An impossible.
Yes, that's what it was.
Saying,
which again kind of goes against competitive eating.
It was just. I think it was just because
plant-based hot dogs here.
Well, it was a competitor of Nathan's. It wasn't because it was the plant-based and all that stuff. But
okay, so they were not going against him for eating a healthy alternative.
That's my theory. Yeah. So basically, he said, I already have these other celebrations I'm going to do because he does a lot of eating contests.
I want to know if my man James Webb's going to hit the 50 mark.
That's a good
49
question.
and a half.
What about my guy
Not
Badlands Booker on the lemonade chugging
Look
contest?
at some game logs and things like that. I mean,
You got plenty of time to be able to put this in here. I also like, that you're that dude when they put in the classification winner without Joey Chestnut.
Without, right.
So we are taking bets for second place. We are taking investments for second place. That's phenomenal. Never second place is this radio show. This might be one of the best ones we've done. Thanks to Jimmy Ozarski for joining us. Thanks to Bob Nightingale for joining us. Thanks to Dave Gaspard being phenomenal on the other side of the glass. And Armin, way to go today. Way to battle through some adversity.
You know what?
I'm Billy Schmidt. It's been No BS. We'll cross it over to Mike Heller next.
Does your business have a brand potential customers identify with? Even consider themselves part of? Bringing Redefined Realty and Auction to iNet reinvigorated our story, telling it better